have other... Oh, fuck birds. So it must have been before for everyone here wanting to see me play Wii U games. I didn't change a single fucking setting from the time before. All I did, maybe there was I updated OBS, but then I played more games. So it wasn't the OBS update, which I was afraid to do, unless the OBS update didn't kick in until I restarted the computer. Changed not a single fucking setting from the previous time I streamed Wii U games. It's not doing it. I don't know. I am now on StreamLabs OBS, and great news, I fucking hate it. But that's okay. We'll wait until we reach some more people. I know I'm starting earlier than usual, and I already technically streamed like 67 times today. But I got a surprise here from Destiny FOMO. We'll find out what that surprise is. It's a surprise of surprises. I need to clean my glasses. It's a family fun surprise. We're gonna talk about some men on the internet, which I did talk about in my other stream. We will discuss those men again. Now it's showing the Ah! Okay, I'm sorry. I just pulled an Alex Jones right there. Forgive me, this is a Christian show. I apologize. I just set up the notifications 1,000 fucking times and they weren't working. Now they're working. Now they're working. I don't want sounds for every time someone sends me a fucking donation. Donations. I don't. Donation alerts. I'm going to have to disable them for now. Save settings and shut up. My apologies. Regarding what's the point of porting games overseas to here if you're going to censor them. What do you mean? I agree with you. I'd want to play them as intended too. I think it's stupid what Sony's doing. I'm wholeheartedly on board with you. I am 110% on board with you with that, man. So, it's not going to stop the donation sounds. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I hate OBS with a passion. I can't stand it. I can't stand this fucking software with a fucking passion. Output. General, where are the notifications here? Why is it still making noises even though I told it not to? Notifications. I don't want any. No. Done. Thank you. Goodbye. So. Yeah, KH, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you too. Like, I think that the censorship sucks. Like, why does there need to be censorship if there's a rating on there? Why don't you let people judge for themselves? But they're so... I know what it's about. They're so worried about someone somewhere getting ass hurt and them losing money that's what they're... It's not going to stop the sounds. I don't know what to do. This is insane. I have disabled sounds in both StreamLabs OBS and I have disabled them. Holy shit. I don't want the notifications on, so why the fuck are they still on? Is it me having StreamLabs opened? Oh, come on. I can't. Now let's see. The sound is off there. Let's see now. The last two Ace Attorney games are only available on the 3DS. Release the farts, of course. Hold on. Oh, what happened to the Smoxy? Asking you posted a pic on Twitter of me shirtless holding two cockatoos. Please don't fire me, bro. Hope your tech issues. Yeah, I don't understand why. It just, I could see if it wasn't working and like, oh, Rich, you just don't know what you're doing. I would have been like, yeah, you're right. I don't know what I'm doing. It worked last time. 0 settings were changed, and now it doesn't work. The only thing I could think is a Windows update fucked something up, or the OBS update, even though it worked because I used it after the update to record the footage without my face in it of the Wii U. Now it's not working. So I have no fucking patience. Now it's shut off. No, I'm using Streamlabs OBS. And it's totally different than the other OBS. So I'm hoping that there's someone that my editor knows who's really savvy with OBS, that he even helped me with the quirks of it one time. Like when I had to do, what review did I did where, I was doing that SNES clone. Remember that stupid shit system that had NES games and it looked like an SNES clone? You had to do something weird to record the audio on a separate track from your voiceover. Oh my God, it was so annoying. And it wasn't like the way it should have been. It didn't work. OBS is the software I use to stream to you guys. The last 2 Ace Attorney games are only available on the 3DS digitally. No physically copies were made. Thanks, Nintendo. It stinks. It stinks. Oh, yeah, it stinks like shit.
Stinks like shit.
It's so funny. I saw he was mad last night. And I just wish he's another one, too. But let's focus on. Let's leave Phil. Let's give Phil a break. The man needs a break. Oh, let me add in that we're talking about Newegg tonight, too, because we are. Plus Newegg drama, which is true. It's definitely drama. I don't think I'm being clickbaity in the slide. Holy fuck, it's not even 7 and I'm streaming. What is wrong with me?
Cucumbers.
Yeah, dude. They're funny, man. They're funny. They won't let it go. They won't let it go. I guess, and I bring up the fact that we dislike each other for the point that, look, I could look past that and be like, yo, I agree with you on this. I could be objective and put how I feel towards you aside. Apparently, it's not reciprocated, so apparently they could eat a dick. And then they said, I remember I was watching another video, and I forgot there was some, like, I tried to take them down. No, dude, you were calling me a shill. Now, hindsight being 2020, yeah, it was bad optics to wear that fucking shirt. And I think, why did I do that? It just was, I didn't think. That's all it was. But to say you were just being a advertising piece for Tommy, like, no, just Tommy doesn't shut the fuck up. And that's what you have to do if you want to, like, not spend 6 months talking to him and him telling you his entire life story, which is wrong. I should have just not interviewed him. Lesson learned. But to make it indirectly like you pressured me into changing my opinion, shut the fuck up. And just to think the whole reason of this is because I had a take on them about their stupid fucking take with Diablo Immortal, and they can't let it go. So cry fucking more and grow a set, both of you. It's just amazing. So many. And I always remember I met Pat one time at a convention in 2016, one of the only ones I went to. I went to like 2. And I remember him saying, this was like years after this happened to. That shit happened like 2009, 2000. Remember when he was working to get what was it? There was like that game for the Cheetah Men, and there was that guy, I guess, who owned the IP of it, and they were doing a crowdfunding campaign to get like the plastic cartridges made for it. And I just gave my take. I said it seems sketchy. And like 5 years later, it's like, I have a bone to pick with you. And I'm like, okay. And then it's like, all right, it bothers you. Look, man, hindsight being 2020, it wasn't as nefarious as it seemed, or nefarious at all. there was like a secondary Cheetah Men game that never got released on the Action 52 set, and there was like some Kickstarter thing that he was a part of, and he was pissed off because I thought it seemed sketchy, and I made a video about it. I remember that. Like he doesn't let shit go. He doesn't let shit go. Why do I talk about EDP so much? I don't know. Maybe because he was trying to fuck a 13-year-old and is continuing to go on multiple different platforms. I don't know. I have no idea. Oh, we're gonna talk, dude. We are going into so much. Once we hit 500, like I said, I got a surprise here from shout out to Destiny FOMO for sending this to me. She just out of nowhere. She's like, "Hey man, I got something I want to hook you up with," and I'm like, "Cool." So we're gonna look into those first, and then we're gonna do a deep dive, as Intellivision would like to say, into many aspects. It will be fun roasting the shit out of Pat and Ian tonight. But here's the thing, though. I could roast them, unlike them, because they're pussies. And I can still agree with them on their takes if I think it's a valid take. But you got to have a set for that to be the case. Hey, he called you a shirtless shill. He needs to stop taking himself so... I mean, real dude, they all take themselves. Whether it's Pat and Ian, whether it's Phil... Like, I don't want to name anybody else because I'm already on enough shit list as it is. You know what? I'll go around the opposite. You know who's someone who is a genuine fucking person and there's two people that I have met that are two of them. No, there's two of them that they're like public content creators. So I'll say it. Adam Koralik and Shane over at Heroes are two of the nicest guys on the planet. Tired of just talking about the pieces of shit in this industry. Those are actually genuinely nice people. You should shove them up your ass. Yes, exactly. You should subscribe to them. Rerez, REREZ, and then look up Figure It Out Productions. Yes, they are both genuinely... I'm tired of talking just about people that are shit. I'm sure a lot of people think I'm shit too. And that's fine. But those are genuinely nice people that are very passionate about what they do. I'm not saying that Pat and Ian aren't, but they're also pretentious dicks. I know Pat and Ian love video games and technology. I'm not questioning that. But I'm also questioning... I just can't get over it. I know I keep saying this, and I've said it like... Both of you are the king of hot takes. And you literally, in that video that I called you out on talking about Diablo Immortal, told people to shut the fuck up for complaining about it. You're doing like, so it's okay you do it, but when it's about you, you have to have like, oh, here's a little heads up. Now, if I put like personal information and you didn't give me permission to, or was a DM you didn't give me permission to, or whatever, that's different. Then you could be pissed off at me. But me having opinion on your opinion, when you guys have hot takes on opinions all the time, you're just cowards, man. Straight up. Yeah, now here is the thing that I'm hearing. Of course, this is what I'm hearing, is that Phil Adam had nothing to do. Like he actually tried to deter them from doing a Kickstarter, allegedly. But of course, they also have the guy from Earthworm Jim there that is fucking literally on record out of his own mouth being homophobic. And Tommy defended him. Like, what is wrong with you? Why would you want these like liabilities working there? I mean, people say, but it's not like he said a word or like something slipped out. He was like, yeah. And what did he say? He's like, yeah, well, I'm homophobic, but you're Christphobic. Oh my God, fuck off hard. And he kept him there. He kept him there. Apparently Kanye West was... I may have to talk about that tomorrow. If that actually happened. Yeah, they don't want him to be part... And Tommy's like, oh, I'm tired of... Like, Tommy, there's a difference between cancel culture there's a difference between cancel culture and someone just being a piece of shit. Like here's a perfect example. I know it's a terrible, PewDiePie said the gamer word on one of his streams one time, flat out hard R. Not okay. Absolutely not okay. Should he be penalized for it? Of course. Should he be ostracized to an island and starve to death slowly so that the vultures could pick at his bones after he starves? That's not it either. He pays a penalty for it. He moves on, and here we are. But when you're saying like how you're genuine, like you'll see, it's insane. It's insane. This is how this company is run. Oh, well, we're over 500 people. Okay. I need to shut the fuck up. Okay. So we're going to shout out again to Destiny FOMO. I'm going to get out my magic tools here because I am a magic tool. And, no. Battlefield actually had, no, it's because, dude, how do I miss this shit? I look for articles sometimes for hours, and it just, I don't know. You guys need to take over my job. I'm retiring. So, how can I open this without scratching the... It's Intellivision games. It's Intellivision games. And when she told me this, I'm like, oh, of course. Yeah, I got to use... No, you're right. You know what, Toaster Boss? You're right. I got to use Reddit more. I'm being a boomer and not using Reddit. I don't steal Young Yeah stuff. If I saw a source from his video, and I've even shouted him out. I don't steal shit. How are anyone stealing anything anyway when we're all talking about current events? We're all going to look up the same shit. How dare you steal something from the article that I read something from? I'm sorry. Yeah, I know they called me a shirtless. Oh, don't worry. They're in for a ride with me today. It just, you know what bothers me? If they look like, I would say that Keemstar has a more valid reason for hating me. I mirrored his video back in the day, which was a dumb mistake. Like, their reasoning is so stupid. So petty. But don't worry. They're in for a treat. Hope they're going to have to actually do this. Hold on one second.
Spread your cheeks and just go to town.
So this is Dyna Blaster. Here it is. Nice looking box. I'll give it that. I'm not scratching anything. I'm just gently going through the cellophane plastic. And this is... What the fuck is this? Wait. Number of players. Fun fact. So what we have here is a card with like a 3D thing in the front. You see that? Okay, and it has in the back, lay explosive traps and craft devious plans in this frantic game of bomb dropping and explosive escape. Customize your helmeted mayhem maker. That sounds like they're talking about a penis. And go into battle alongside or against family and friends, or take on AI opponents, all in a variety of destructible environments, but don't fall victim to your own changes. 1 to 4 players, developer BBG Entertainment. Okay, so we got that card. That's just great. We have... I'm guessing this is supposed to be the game, but it's an NFT. Now, Destiny told me something here. Where is my phone? Oh, it's under the fucking cartridges. Let's see. You see some shit in the back. Here's, there you go. Excitement all around. Let me see. Is this it? Or is this the box? There was something she said if you do NFC, it works. All right, whatever. So, This is, I'm guessing, the game. This is the game. Because Grandma just loves her NFTs. You know, I mean, there's nothing that says simplicity like having a non-fungible token. Hey, Intellivision, or Tommy, or whoever, or Phil, or it's easy to get back into. Said not a soul. Here is a coin. Is it the coin? Maybe, I don't know. Let me see something here. Is it this? I don't care. I don't really care. So this is what you get. You get this is probably where, yes, this is where the game is. RFID actually says it right in front. Just know Hero is here. Hello, Hero. You sent me the article on Twitter. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that, man. I'll talk about Kanye tomorrow, too. Even though now, whenever I talk about something completely non-gaming, unless it's EDP, it does not get viewership. It's like they did something to the algorithm again. There was a time I used to be able to talk about topics outside of gaming, but it's now like YouTube's like, no, stay in your lane. Yes, that'll stay in his lane. So we now have rigid force redux. Enhanced. Rigid force redux enhanced. And it's the same fucking thing again. Here we go. You got that. Limited collector's edition. Didn't it? An internet. Now, here is what it says back here. This actually looks fairly cool. I'm not going to lie. What does it say? Take the captain's chair and ready your reflexes for this fast-paced, bullet-dodging shoot-'em-up. That is it. Now, here's the small text here. Yeah, your lane is wherever you want. Yes, tell the YouTube algorithm that. Anyway. All right, so let's read here. An internet connection is required for digital game download and online features when using Intellivision Amico. Certain smartphone devices may not be compatible with Intellivision Amico or games. Intellivision, the Intellivision logo, Running Man logo, Intellivision Amico, Intellivision Together, and Amico logo or trademarks of registered trademarks of Intellivision Entertainment LLC. For more additional information and instructions, go to blah, 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 Intellivision. Warning, some people, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't, where is that thing where it says this isn't really a game, which it obviously isn't. Whatever. Hey, to an iPhone, though, tap the sealed box. What I'm ain't doing it with my. Hey, how are you? I'm actually streaming right now. Is it okay if I get back to you in a couple hours? Yeah, it ain't doing it on mine, Destiny. Thank you for this treat, though. I can't wait to get my Amico. You know what? Hey, Tommy, let me show you something. Here's a company that well, no, they may not be smaller than Amico now, but you know what? Evercade did something that you should have done too, dumbass. That's a cartridge. Thank you, Kyle Driver. I appreciate that. And you know what I do? I plug in that cartridge. I turn on the system. Has to load up. And I start playing games. Why couldn't you do that with the Amico? Oof. Wow. It's like you put a cartridge in and it plays. I mean, these are small games, Tommy. What is it? You wanted to make a console that's simple and easy to use, but you're NF-fucking-Ts? Look. Oh, look, I could play two crude dudes because there's nothing that makes you feel more masculine than this game. Look at that. I actually did a review on this back in the day. Then, that's it. A cartridge. Not whatever the fuck this is. And don't you think that people want to be collectors? This is going to fall apart. I don't care where you keep it in what kind of environment. It's paper. It's cardboard, excuse me. Yeah, I'm going to get the Evercade VS. Dude, I forgot how good Super Double Dragon is. It's so good. I have the Technos. I got I'm really excited for is Jalico. I love Jid. They're so bad, but they're good. Like, I remember playing, I'm going to play right here. Birds. Men. And birds. And men. Yeah, like Smash. Come on, man. Like, what do you think the demographic, they would want something like this? I, as a person who's went, I think this is great. I have bad dudes right here. They look like meth heads in sweatpants beating up Karnov, which that's literally what they are. But it's right here in my hands. The meth heads are right in my hands. Hey. Dude, I love it. And it's like, the thing that's badass about Super Double Dragon 2 DBZ King is that it takes like technique and skill. It's not just mashing buttons like every other fucking beat 'em up. Like, you could actually block, catch your opponent's hand, and just start wailing at their fucking face. So anyway, so let's begin with the family-friendly fun here. We are going to shrink me, because I need to be shrunken. I know how to do this here. It's mostly similar to. Oh my God, there's my porn. Instant regret. Anyway. So here are two very happy men. They are huge fans of me. I believe that Ian has a shrine of me in his bedroom, shirtless too. So let's see what these men have to say. I'm excited to hear from these men. I've noticed that they've gotten rid of a lot of their stickers. Wonder why that is. I have no idea. No idea. Why would they get rid of
this? This portion of the CU podcast is brought bang,
Is-
complete and box Streamcast, and hundreds of more games. Last week in Amico Land /country code to get $10 off your purchase for any new user on the app. Whatnot, buy, sell, and go live.
Ian reads ads like he's about to have a Xanax because he's having a panic attack because his doctor has to check his fucking prostate. Yeah, wow. Dude, at least like feign some enthusiasm, man. Is it a new laptop?
Update.
A lot.
That was a...
It stinks like shit.
What was update?
Been happening in the past week in Amico Land. We'll just call it the fallout, the beginning of the fallout, because a lot's going to happen with this. After change, CEO changed sometime last year, but after it became publicly acknowledged of a change of a CEO at Intellivision, as well as pouring through an SEC filing on the heels of the fourth crowdfunding campaign at Start Engine. There's been a lot of stuff happening the past week in terms of the Amico. A lot of people coming out and speaking about the project, or I guess the death of the project, larger YouTubers that were kind of silent beforehand.
Don't say I was silent. I've been calling out the Amico. I tried to be objective in the beginning because I always know I could be a pessimistic dick, but I was one of the ones somewhat earlier, not as early as them, but early on that was like, yeah, this is a shit. Once I started seeing the games and then I heard the new price point, I'm like, no, this thing is a fucking failure to launch.
Investors are asking tougher questions. Nick Richards, the CFO, is commenting. There's a lot to go through.
This is this is the trade cutoff. You have to pick your side now.
No, they can handle reality. They're fine, but it's just they got egos, man. They got egos. Just amazing that they expect a courtesy that they don't give to other people. I would love answer that, Pat. Do you ask permission of everyone that you have a hot take about, that you talk about in all your episodes of your podcasts? That's not even rhetorical. Answer. I know what the answer is, so I guess maybe it is rhetorical, but answer me genuinely. You don't, right? But you want that courtesy handed to you because you're a douche with two different standards. I guess I'm weird. I didn't hate was better than being at work. I'm just saying that Ian reads his ads in a less than enthusiastic way. Not saying to put fake enthusiasm in, but just don't sound like you're trying to fall asleep.
As a matter of fact, if you depending on the side you've picked, I'm not giving you any. I'm not giving you any leeway. But
history repeats itself.
Yeah.
This happened with the Chameleon.
Yep.
Where, Ian and I were critical of it, and not many other people were. You go back there, wasn't a lot of people.
I was. I thought it was shit.
Critical of the retro VGS and then the Chameleon, larger YouTubers.
I remember being critical of the retro VGS, and I remember someone giving a shit for it. And I remember that person coming up to me and apologizing at a convention, and then that person
attacked us for this.
And then that person attacked me again because of the Amico.
Just say the names. They're public figures, dude. Why do they do that? And they end up saying them enough anyway that you know who they're fucking talking about. Like, is that so they can make it like they're moral arbiters since they said I was punching down, even though I didn't go to the smaller YouTubers channel? I went to Intellivisions that just so happened to have the smaller YouTubers there.
And they were whatever.
They always do that. I guess that's so they could say, well, I didn't say a name. Who gives a fuck if you did? If you're saying a name of someone personal and doxing them, it's different. But if you're saying a name of, if you're on Twitter or you're on YouTube, you're on a public platform, you can be called out. It's okay. It's not punching down, boys.
History repeats itself. This is one of the reasons why it's like, I don't want to, I'm not saying we're the most important people talking about this stuff, but if
you sure as fuck act like it.
If we weren't critical of this, no one was early on at all. People were giving interviews to Tommy all over the place.
It's called trying to be objective and give something a chance, Pat. I always go into everything being a negative Nelly. Yeah, I've been burned before. I was initially on board with, and then as more information came out, and then I got one finally, I realized it was a piece of shit. I changed my tune. When I truly realized how much of a douche Tommy was and how much shit he was spewing, then when I saw the games, and then when it went from being, what they were saying, like 140 something to 180 something for the price point to 250, then I jumped off, Pat. I know you would like to jerk off and think it was from pressure from you, but it wasn't. And I wasn't trying to take down your fucking channel before. I called you out, wasn't taking down your channel. Why would I want to take down your channel? I'm not petty like that. You may be, but I'm not. I dislike you, but why the fuck would I want to deplatform you? That goes against everything that I'm about. Say whatever the fuck you want to say.
Place, basically several hour infomercials, a certain tech reviewer with almost no pushback at all. Just none.
Because you can't go talk to Tommy and try to get a word in. I know who they're talking. Gee, I wonder who they're talking about. Please, I beg you. I would love to see them have an interview with Tommy. And then I finally did put pressure on him, and my audience did. Remember, that's where the gaming racist shit came from. Then he came on that one time I was showing Finnegan Fox. They won't mention that. Holy shit, though. Try to have a conversation with Tommy where it's not all about Tommy for at least an hour. And then anytime a question's brought up, he just talks and talks and talks. And it's like, I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about anymore. like,
so if it wasn't
got mine pre-ordered
leading the way in some form,
yeah, I still do. It's still a shit show.
I always look back, what would have happened? Would more people have gotten taken under this, more influence involved?
I don't think so.
More people, you never know. more people investing money into what's a failed venture. So we're at the point now where now this is becoming, it was bigger news after E3, but now that it's falling apart more, you're going to have other people talking about it, which is fine.
This is the juicy part of it. This is where everyone's going to get in on the action.
But I don't want to see.
I did plenty of videos that were not positive towards the Amico before it got juicy. You must have missed. You're obviously following what I'm doing, Pat and Ian, so don't fucking make it like you're not. But you'll just skip right by that, you fucking ass hurt, spineless pieces of shit. Because I didn't ask your permission, or I give you a heads up, excuse me, to make a video criticizing you back in the day, because we both do the same thing. So basically what Pat's saying, don't be friends with Pat the NES punk, because basically what he's saying is just you're just useful to him, because if you're friends with him, which minus a couple people, I don't consider anyone friends in this business because it's business. It's just because he's hoping you don't talk about him. And if you do, this is how he'll act. For a guy who calls Tommy out on his arrogance all the time, you kind of have the same pedigree there, dude.
Any YouTubers try to come in both sides of this shit and be like, well, you have the cultists, but also the people that are, you know, over the top. It's like you err on the side of caution when it comes to these ventures. And this is the reason why. If you're going to say, well, you guys are a little bit too much energy, because we don't want people to lose money and get scammed.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it comes down to. So I'm sorry. And this goes back to the same thing, Chameleon, where I got attacked for being too critical when that fell apart and Ian too. I'd rather be the guy that's a little bit louder when he shouldn't be versus saying absolutely nothing for years.
Saying some of the unpopular, you know, not quite as feel-good things. Like, doesn't need to be a huge hug box every time someone wants to make a new console.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Not a huge hug box, huh? Except when it comes to both of you, it has to be a hug box. You need a hug first before someone's critical of you. But you could be critical of whoever you want. I'm going to keep bringing it up because you were incredible douches for your double standards. Tell me I'm wrong about the double standard. Please. Or you have to show. Do you send a message saying, "Hey, I'm going to talk about you." Do I have permission to?
No one does. Everyone doesn't have to be friends with everyone. You're allowed to be impolite to people.
Really? Really? Not according to you. You were hurt. How? You're really saying this? Practice what you preach, you fucking douchebags. Practice it. Think hard. Or do you have a DSP level of lacking of self-awareness? Amazing. Amazing. Fuck both of you. Absolutely is hard. Oh, really? You don't have to be polite to everybody? According to you, you have to slide into their DMs and offer them a blowjob before you're critical. What's the difference? Oh, it's you. And you think like you're in an ivory tower in the retro gaming community. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on, you fucking dorks.
In society, if you're allowed to call people out on their bullshit.
But if it's them though, you have to let them know first, or they'll cry and hold a grudge against you for years. But they could do it to anybody else though.
I'm sort of sick and tired because you see the same people sometimes that sit on the sidelines until, wow, the wind's blowing the other way, Ian. Well, I got to.
Oh, don't make it also on top of it like you two were just like, we have to be the moral arbiters of truth. You have a niche retro gaming mostly podcast, and here's a gaming product that looks disastrous. You're a subset of a community. You didn't do this for charity. Shut the fuck up. We were the ones who talked about. Oh, you're such heroes. As it's stunning and brave.
I get in on it now because if I don't now, like,
Because it's more insane now. I talked about it when it wasn't as popular, too. I got the receipts of the fucking videos. Now that, the viewership is starting to go up a little. It's still not, like, mind-blowing to people. My video talking about Shane actually underperformed. So don't say I had plenty of streams about this shit because it's just fast. It's like, same with EDP. Yeah, that gets some viewership. But this just fascinates me. It's a train wreck in slow motion.
Stick your neck out a little bit. I'm not saying you got to go.
It's because they're hypocritical. You don't know the whole story, man. It's a long story. They're hypocritical pieces of shit. Evil DSP laugh, of course. If I can fucking find it.
All the way, all the time. But if something is obviously looking bad, feel free to stick your neck out just a tad bit. Just a tad bit. It won't get cut off. It's weird.
Oh my God. Dude, it's because no one gave a shit. It's not that they were scared. Oh, they're so brave. No, it's that everyone's like, yo, Rich is putting over, or they're putting up videos getting 10,000, 20,000 views a video, moving to a topic people give a shit about. Now they're seeing the train wreck, and now they're like, yeah, this is interesting now. That's all it is. So, Lemstar, thank you very much. I missed birds, turds, men's, cucumbers in that order. Dude, I'll give you. Oh, yeah, I got
Cucumbers. Stinks like shit.
Weird. But that's the first thing I'm going to talk about there, or did talk about.
Yeah, they're so brave. Oh, gee.
We forgot to mention this, going down the list of stuff here. The 2021 earnings, we don't know what they look like yet entirely.
No, we don't.
The SEC filing doesn't include that, and they did say they're going to update those soon.
So when they talked about the SEC filing, the earnings were shown.
Pat, tell me that your grudge against me is, tell me it's more than the fact that you were hurt that I didn't send you a DM giving you a heads up about my video. Tell me. Tell me it was. If it's not more than that, then you are the biggest hypocritical piece of garbage on this platform. One of the most hypocritical pieces of shit on this platform. You want a courtesy extended to you that you will extend to no one else. Like, you are critical of no one. Dude, if we had to give permission to be critical of people, no one would ever want that, because everyone has big fucking egos. You think that, hey, Tommy, I'm going to be very critical of you in a video today. Oh, yeah, sure, Rich. Tommy, you think Tommy would fucking be like calling me, begging me not to make the video?
For 20, and obviously their current status is including what happened in 2021. We just don't know the exact numbers.
We don't know what's happening with that.
Yeah, their books are in a world of shit, even from the 2020 numbers. Yeah, you could get. Yes, of course you can. You can get
Cucumbers.
It's a very, very long story. I can't keep repeating it because then the people who it's Pat and Ian are very sensitive men. We'll leave it at that.
We don't know. So, Phil Adam went on another, following in Tommy's footsteps, doing all these little 2-hour backslapping meetups. I don't know at this point what to call them. He mentioned a weekly,
I would say, ass slapping
vacation for his birthday.
Circle jerks.
Circle jerks. He mentioned going on vacation for his birthday for a week, and people are allowed to go on vacation.
They absolutely are.
I don't take him nearly enough. But it's how it looks, because this happened with Tommy a couple times, where after a major disaster happened, like the E3 event last year, you get up and you leave town, and it just doesn't look good on the surface, especially when you have people hanging on, waiting for their pre-orders to come in, or investors. But that's fine. That's fine.
I've called out Smash JT many times, and he's finally, when he found out about the new CEO, he's like, yo, this is too much. Have you not seen how many times I've called out Smash JT in fucking streams? Like, really? But he has seen that, yeah, it's the Titanic, and it's sinking. Like, what would you like me to do? To just, to keep calling him out, even though he's changed his views, seeing what's going on?
Do you have any thoughts on that or not really? It's just sort of like, the timing's a little weird. Why even mention that?
No, it's weird timing. You could have just kept that to yourself. You're talking because that
a good SSD I got in. I'm trying to think real quick. I forgot the name of the fucking drive I got. It's 4 terabytes too. Sabrent. I have a 4 terabyte Sabrent drive. Western Digital makes great drives. Just got to make sure it has the proper heatsink and it's spec'd out for the A lot of times they'll say right in the advertisement, PS5 ready.
That was something Phil Adams said when he was talking to some of the people who tend to do all of the the YouTubers who do all the PR for the Amico,
which is insane. It's absolutely insane. And a lot of these people are still willing to die on this hill. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
These are the people that these are the people who are holding on. Like these are your faithful. You don't.
Yeah, they were telling them to shut the fuck up and all that, but that's okay though. But you have harsh criticism about them, man. They won't let it go. Again, Pat, come on, please tell me there's something else that I'm missing with that whole puzzle piece. If there is, I will apologize to you right now. If there's something I forgot. But I know there isn't. So
don't need to tell them stuff like that makes you look bad. Yeah, I don't see it as a winning strategy if you're trying to keep people in place. Sure, go take that vacation, but don't be like, we're in financial ruin. I'm taking a week vacation.
Yeah, it's not good. Speaking of the cultists, so there was infighting amongst we'll say the inner Amico YouTuber party. You want to call it that?
Sure.
This group
we can call it that.
Group of 8 to 10 people that are dying on this hill or dying on the hill. They're already in the ground at this point, including investors, at least 2 investors we know of that were involved in pushing this. One guy, and then we have Shirtless Shill is the other one that have done this.
I think, Jeff, I think they're talking about you. I'm just saying. That's them. That's Jeff. They already had. Maybe they'll say more about me later.
So, apparently, some of these people went through the SEC document before it went live. This is according to one of the cultists. Went through the document with Tommy. They all got on a 2-hour call and went through this document before it went live.
2 hours
to explain it to them, in case I guess there was the pushback that was coming.
Well, they knew there was going to be pushback, so it was.
Yeah, so they were giving them the damage control. Oh, here's how you could spin this. Free PR people that are being used. And hey, Tommy calls you a friend just to call you a friend. So you think that you have to defend your friend when in reality you're defending his business. But what Tommy's too arrogant and stupid to see is having these cultists just makes it look fucking weird. It looks strange. About a fucking mediocre product that plays tablet games. Matt patted Akani was nice, but seemed very smug. Anyone who holds a grudge like him needs to invest in lotion to prevent nipple chafing. Now, he needs to get the redwood removed from his ass. I mean, here's the thing, too. You know what happened? When I found out that shit about Phil Adam, you know what I did? And I'm not looking for accolades for this, but I just show you how I run this shit. I DM Pat and said, yo, you should check this out. Maybe he mentions it here. I don't care. And I'm not looking for... But this is... I know he hates me, but I thought it was a big piece of information. I know they follow it. Maybe he already knew it. But all I'm saying is that's how I work. I'm not like them where I just and the court. They're like the quartering. They're the same thing. They could question anyone else's authority, but once their authorities question, you're an enemy. Fuck everyone that's fucking like this. I fucking hate all of you.
Here's the company talking points.
So they strategize, which I think is
so worried about your stupid fucking egos because you have a following on YouTube. What? No one really knows me. And I have bigger, not the quartering, but I have bigger following than them. And I don't care. But I'm saying no one, who the fuck are we, dude? Get over yourselves. God damn it.
It's happened a lot along the way. They have their private little meetups to say, okay, Pat, you're going to talk about this.
We've all kind of known that.
Yeah. And we know
what's
that
happening.
because a lot of this time we would talk about something, and then that night there'd be like 17 videos.
Or they would announce something, and then a video would be out immediately. Like they coordinated.
yeah.
They had like a week to make these videos.
They coordinate.
And it's so weird. Why would you do that? Did they pay? Like, they better have fucking paid him at that point. But that's the thing. They're so... as a person who did it with the music shit back in the day, I'm not bright. Breaking news. Yes, reaction matters. You are saying this should be Bible. No one gives a rat's ass about YouTube fame. That's a decent person. Like, we're all weirdos on the internet. I make a living being fucking weird, getting shirtless and kissing chickens. But I don't know.
It was access media.
Yes,
It was
access media.
It was.
Yes.
I mean, it was pathetic access media, but it was access media. So when you hear that, you really see how much of a circus it is, and how much I always said this is an amateur company. I mean, for the amount of money that they've taken people, it's not, but for how it's operated, it is. Like, why would you? Like, what do you think?
Mad Talk. Well, welcome.
How do you think YouTubers that have the reach of, say, getting 300 people watching their videos or 500, how does that go against the tide of all the bad information in a document like that? That's common sense once you read it.
Well, why do you think they tried to brainwash him? Because they think having that level of dedication will, like, overpower the reach of the larger YouTubers. I don't know. I don't understand what was the point of crafting this cult that they did. I think really at the end of the day, it's just that Tommy needs that. He needs that affirmation from people constantly. So he knows that people like me, and I have to admit it, these two fucking clowns are not going to give it to him. We're going to actually look at the product and be like, I tried in the beginning just to give it a chance. Then when I saw it was shit, I'm like, yeah, this is shit. He knows he's not going to, because it looks ridiculous. He knows it's not going to fly with anyone with a following, because they're not going to throw their integrity under the bus to just dry hump this thing and talk about it in every video. So what is he going to do? He's going to go after the smaller YouTubers who are looking for a chance to maybe get a following, thinking, oh, he's Tommy Tellerico. But what these smaller YouTubers mostly don't realize is that no one gives a fuck about Tommy in the YouTube space, or like in the content creation space. User-generated content creation space, I should say. No one, it's not going to get, like, most people, like, under the age of 30 are like, who the fuck is Tommy Tellerico? You know what I mean? Did I not bring up something? Of course I did, because I'm a fucking idiot. I'll get it in a minute. Whatever. So that's why he did that. He knew that anybody with like a following of like six figures in any way would be like, dude, nah, man, I saw those fucking Flash looking games, and now you're up in the price to $250. Like, nah, man, this ain't it. So he went after people that he knew he could kind of like, he gaslit him. And I've been gaslit before too with the music shit. Had some guy promise me the world, keep me in the studio, and I had it in a storage garage till 3 a.m. after school and work almost on a nightly basis. Didn't pay me a fucking dime. And it was all because, oh, I know people. Don't worry, this'll pay off. Now he's still looking to make it in the music business, and I actually have a following on YouTube. Karma's a bitch, huh? Yeah, they have like the comic book store guy from The Simpsons energy. They must be a blast at parties.
Like, how do you think that even matters? Or is it just to make yourself feel better?
Right. Yeah, it's just to make yourself feel better.
That aside, the other big thing, not even big thing, but, you know, I had like...
After we're said and done, I'll give like a very Cliff Notes version of what happened to. Yeah, dude, in there, that's what like the people that for whatever reason are starstruck by Tommy Tellerico. I'm like, you don't get it. No one cares. Like, no one cares. Like, no one really cares about G. They're all thinking that, like, because they had some kind of following in, like, the late 90s, early 2000s, that it's just, like, they're going to roll out the red carpet for him and everything's going to be the same. No, times have changed, man.
a snaky Twitter direct message. You know,
A snaky Twitter direct message
from a snake, saying that like big news about Phil Adam was.
That was I would be that snake, and I did that out of respect for him because I know how they follow him. I would be that snake.
Involved at some point with the Coleco Chameleon venture with Mike Kennedy, and I knew about that.
Yes, we did know that, but we don't know for how long.
We don't know for how long. We don't know the extent. So for me, it's interesting, but not like.
They can't even. Wow. Well, at least he admitted he got it. Oh my God, you are such a pretentious asshole, Pat. Fuck you.
Like the big fucking nuclear bombshell everyone purported to be. It's like the shirtless shill thought that, that's the last straw for me, was that. Like, that should not have been the last straw. That should have been like, that's a cherry on top of this fucking shit Sunday. Like, that's not a last straw. Because again, we don't even know what Phil did with Mike Kennedy. We didn't know. Maybe Phil saw it and got out. It does lead a track record, more importantly, of getting involved in bad project ventures. That's the biggest thing to me.
No,
Phil
I
might have
answered that
thought
before.
the Retro BGS / Chameleon was going to be a
Hot Tub Mafia for life. The fake ordering.
viable project at some point. So I can't fault them for that. Viable in terms of it actually being produced. It still would have been a disaster, but actually looking at the specs of the project, it had at least a chance of reaching some market versus the Amico, a cartridge-based system of older games. Basically the Evercade's filled in that gap, right? In some way. So that's not the big, like, this is the big bombshell thing. It's an interesting footnote. What's more interesting is the pathway of destruction of having a narcissistic CEO going after all his critics and having secret little cultist meetups to direct their marketing campaign.
From one narcissist to another.
And helping them write their marketing and things like that. That's the red flags.
Yeah.
That's the red flags. Not having a
There's more than what they may even be talking about here too. So but wait.
firmware engineer hired 5 months before your release date. That's a red flag. So don't pretend this is the big deal if you ignored all the other shit that we were talking about for years. You can't do that. You can't do that.
Also interesting is the comment section over at Start Engine has none of the previous comment sections ever really seemed to get people who were asking questions or anything like that. Not really the Fig Republic one. We still don't know if anything happened with Fundable.
Still don't know that.
Still don't know what the heck was going on with Fundable. But this comment section has been pretty active with a lot of potential investors asking good, thorough questions.
More educated investors.
And then watching,
Wow.
Nick Richard.
Pause a second. They're still only at 58,000. Went up a few thousand, but that's how you know it's fucked too. If there was any positive hype, they should have been. What are they? They wanted a 5 million max offering. Jesus Christ!
Come in and try to, smooth talk his way through it. One thing we've learned that I would like to point out that and it's funny. It's fun,
dude. Like I said, Tipster. The only thing, what amazes me is that he's doing the same. Like Tipster, we both know. Like, imagine you and I had to ask permission to, or not ask permission. Again, let me give a heads up to everyone we did a story on. Do you do that? I sure as fuck don't. I love RGT85. Think he's a great dude. When I made those couple videos, did I go to him and be like, "Hey, RGT, I need your permit"? I'm just giving you why? This is what we do. Do you think Griffin Gaming comes to me when he live streams talking about me? Fuck no. I don't expect him to. But that's all. And they just said before, we don't have to be nice, and we're not here to be. Oh, really? So you're saying you don't have to extend that courtesy, but if you met at a convention once, the courtesy has to be extended to you because we talked before once in person, because you're hypocritical shitheads. And I will keep bringing it up. And if I'm wrong, Pat, please post it out there. There was something I missed that I said.
Funny because it goes back to what we suggested that maybe they should have done the first time around. We are catching wind of these Amico games may be released on other platforms.
No.
And maybe maybe retrofitted for DLC and free-to-play mechanics.
Oh, gee golly, no way.
For mobile.
For mobile. When this
Wow.
started,
Look
when
at
we were
circularity.
nice, when
Yeah.
we were nice, my big suggestion was that maybe we publish these games first. Maybe we do a whole pack of, like, you know, the Cloudy Mountain, the Night Stalker, etc., or you just release those under an
Excedrin, like the headache? You mean etc., not Excedrin.
Intellivision publishing label.
I don't know why that.
Or you release a pack of games like Atari does. You know, get some publishing experience under your belt before you go and try and make a system. And they were like, no. They said, it was told to us multiple times that these games required the Amico and could not play without the Amico controller.
Ooh, I knew that was bullshit from the
The
beginning.
Amico controller was so revolutionary that all of the games, none of the games on the Amico could be played with a regular D-pad and buttons controller.
Even though you could download the app to use your phone as an extra controller, and we'll ignore that.
Even though the first two demos they released, one was on the PC and one was on
Yeah.
your phone, and they both worked just fine with keys and
Yeah,
regular
Moon
controls.
Patrol and Breakout on your
Breakout.
computer. And Moon Patrol on the app was fine.
Yep.
This is the quote from Nick responding to someone talking about the SAM, which I learned was what was that? Serviceable
Area market?
available market.
I mean,
what's-
available.
So what's your potential pool of customers? What's your customer pool? What's the number?
Are they still saying 3 billion? Because
Yeah, I love what. Yeah, like, you know, it's not like 98% of those people aren't people who just play games on their fucking smartphones. They get as free apps. Jesus.
they did put that on the campaign.
Yeah. They think that everyone that owns a smart person in the world.
Oliver, I'm glad you said hello to your mother. Good for you.
A smartphone?
Smart. Yeah. So did I say smart person?
Yeah, you said everyone
Yeah.
owns a smart person.
Everyone owns a smartphone in the world, whether in Chicago, Bangladesh, Japan, South Africa, the Congo. Everyone is apparently someone who buys mobile games, right? No, that's not true.
That's not.
That's not
They're
true.
also including places
That even if they buy mobile games, it doesn't mean they're going to go buy mobile games on a fucking dedicated console that's underpowered. They'll still buy the mobile games. So, like, yeah, for the few times I play the game, I'll play it on my phone.
like India in that, where like people they don't have TVs, they have phones.
Sure.
Like it's insane.
Yeah, so they're not taking that into account. None of it. So this is what Nick said in response to this. It hasn't been widely discussed, as it is not a focus on launch, on what is your focus, but we do plan to develop games for mobile, both as a revenue stream and to provide broader exposure.
Should have been selling games for mobile from the beginning to get a revenue stream. I don't know how big it would have been because I don't know how many people have been clamoring to play Intellivision games, but revenue stream nonetheless.
For our Amico platform. These games will not have the same restrictions that we impose on the Amico platform, meaning you selling by DLC.
Right.
Given the types of games we plan to develop, both internally and in partnership with third parties, we calculated an addressable market of approximately $19 billion for the mobile segment.
How many billion?
19 billion. That's a B of dollars that they can get out of people. I guess
Yeah,
they're saying, well,
right.
if there's 3 billion people, they all spend like $6 to $7 each. Here's the thing about
Yeah, it's a stupid number to say that there's no context to it, and for people who don't understand the context, it'll sucker them. That's why they say it.
mobile that Tommy on his rants on Atari Age, another red flag if you want to be an investor. He always said that, well, look how much money the mobile market has. Not
Oh, he would go on and on and on and on about that.
failing to address that most people don't spend a dime on mobile
Right.
games.
It's whales
It's the people that get in and spend hundreds of dollars
on
a
in-app
game.
purchases, which you've cut out of your fucking ecosystem.
That brings the average up. But if you look at the median or the mode, if you know stats, most people spend next to nothing on mobile games every year.
Yes.
They'll play whatever's free. That's
And suffer through an advertisement. Trust me, I know many
your
people.
market. People that don't want to spend money on games, that's your 3 billion people.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Exactly. People who already have what I was trying to say with like the in places where TVs aren't as prevalent or there's tons of people, they play games on these things because it's what they already have.
Yes.
It doesn't require any thought. They don't have to go buy a TV. They don't have to go buy a system. They don't have to go buy anything. A phone is, it's getting to.
It's always in your pocket. It's an app, 2 app taps away from getting. You go to the App Store or Google Play Store. You download the game, which takes at most, but depending, unless it's like a big game like Call of Duty, 20 seconds, and then that's it. You don't have to go anywhere. It could be a blizzard outside. Oh, I have no fart. I have nothing. Wait. There you go.
To this point, I don't feel bad saying it because you're getting to the point where smartphones, they give them away for free when you get off of like the train. Like anyone can get one.
You can buy a burner smartphone for $15,
$20. A houseless person can get a phone.
Yes.
Like it's important to have a phone. Everyone has a phone with a screen.
Yes.
There is no further investment. That's why these people play these games. Not because no one's going to make that leap from I play this game on my phone that I already have to I'm going to buy a $250 system that plays this shit.
Companies probably take a tech loss a lot of times because they want to get you on the subscription plan.
Right.
So it's a loss leader getting these pieces of technology that are cheaper, but everyone has them. There's a lot of questions on here. Someone pointed out sort of the false statements here. Let me see if I can find it about the $500 consoles. Here, do you see that one?
Oh, I don't have that statement stated, but basically someone was pointing out that, in their advertising, they say, many game consoles are upwards of $500. No game console is more than $500 right now, and the Switch and the Xbox and even the PlayStation 5 all have versions under $5.
Yeah, $3.99. You can get the Series S $299, the PS5 Digital Edition $399. You can get a Switch. Original Switch model with a normal LCD screen or IPS panel for $299, and you could get a Switch Lite for $199. They have zero fucking case here, especially now that they may be going up to $350 which it won't be, this thing is ever released. And if it is released, it's going to be released where just the pre-order people get it. Like assholes like me who are going to spend the $350 on it to laugh at it for years on end.
Kelly says this: you may want to correct these 2 pieces of false information in your marketing above. 1, on your patents, you make it seem like this has been granted, but your SEC disclosure reveals it is only pending. Probably for the horror, but also their bullshit karma engine.
Yes.
Please make this clear unless it has been fully granted since the disclosure. Again, trying to be sneaky. Number 2, you state most of today's gaming systems cost upwards of $500.
They do.
However, none of them do. A quick check reveals the Switch costs $299. Xbox Series S.
And that's just the base Switch. You get the Switch Lite for $199. I understand it's kind of not in the same market. I get it, but you get my point. Get a ton more entertainment out of that fucking thing.
$299, PS5 Digital $399, Xbox Series X $499, and PlayStation 5 $499.
What about the Series S? Series S is $299.
Last 2 include full Blu-ray players in them. It would be highly misleading to add in costs of extra peripherals or controllers, as those are not a system cost, which is correct, Kelly.
Yes.
You are correct. They are optional, and these systems support very inexpensive third-party controllers. Anyway, any false statements cast doubt on everything else, so it would be in your best interest to be accurate and amend your text accordingly. Thank you, Kelly. And Nick tried to wriggle his way around that, which is bullshit.
Oh, did he? I didn't see his response to that. The other day, he didn't have a response yet.
Hello, Kelly. Yes, it is correct that we have not yet received final approval of our patent submission. I will talk to Start Engine about changes to make that clear. Sorry for the confusion, and thank you for pointing out. Yeah,
You're not sorry at all. That was the point.
Yeah. You thought that was going to slip under the radar.
We are trying to compare apples to apples, so when our core bundle includes 2 controllers and 6 games, it isn't necessarily an apples to apples comparison against a system with 1 controller and no games. Since we don't have a similar scaled-down bundle, we tend to try and draw a fair comparison. So with the cost of a new Xbox and PS5 at $499 plus an extra controller at $55 to $70, and just say 1 game at $60, even though you can buy a ton of games on the digital marketplace, like $4, $5, he doesn't bring that up, to make it equal to the value of the games on Amico, you're looking at $614 to $625. Of course, he ignores the Switch. Of course, he ignores the digital, PS5 that's only $400.
That's been like one
Slimy.
of their calling cards.
Yeah, and it's only going to be if the worst case scenario, which I guarantee you it's going to go there for them even to mention the price. It's going to go up to $350. They already insinuated it, $250 to $350. They're saying that you're going to spend more on an Amico for a fucking Amico and I heard it's a mid-range 2016 chipset. Still, it's garbage. For these flash games that you'll get 15 to 20 minutes of fun out of. For $350, either get a PS5 digital edition, get a Switch OLED, get a Switch, get a Series S, get anything else. Get this instead. Get the Versus if you want something on a fucking TV screen.
Cards though, like when called out on a bunch of questions, they answer a couple with halfway answers and then just don't ever answer the questions that make them look bad or acknowledge that there's competition.
David with a great one here underneath, if you see it. At the end of the day, I think it's all about when the Amico can be released. Yeah, because that's when you make money. David knows this. A firm date and an achievable plan of how you guys are going to get there will be something that might entice me to invest. I think people really want to know exactly where manufacturing is at. Do you have a manufacturer? How much money will it take to get 10,000 units produced? How quickly can they be produced once the money is paid? Brilliant questions. Once the Amico's out there, even if the games and OS are not as polished as one would hope.
The urge to shave. Well, technically, I actually shaved my neck beard. Never mind.
It means revenue is trickling in, and even if more funds are then required to move things to the next level, there would at least be a much greater level of confidence than what we all currently have. That's a smart investor. This isn't enough. I want the complete story before David puts his money in. Brilliant. And there's more. So these investors are putting feet to the fire. Nick's scrambling in here. And you know why he's scrambling, Ian? Where has the investments been in the past week? How much more have they got in the past week?
They have made 10,000 more whole dollars in the past week. I don't remember the exact I don't remember the exact number, but I do clearly remember checking during the segment last week, and it was 48,000 something. They had been at 53, but it dropped back down to 48 because someone pulled out an investment, and now they're at 58. So they've raised a whopping $10,000 in 7 days. This is dead as a doornail.
But anyone that's investing the money, you feel bad for because they're not getting it back.
Right. The minimum they needed to raise, I think it was like a minimum of 10,000. This is like a flex thing. If they raised a minimum of 10,000, they would get that.
They get it all.
Up to a maximum of 5 million is them meeting their goal. But they are never, ever, ever meeting their goal.
No. The money's gone.
Not a chance in hell.
Holly and her dogs, their money's gone on Republic. Nick answered Holly. I don't know his response because we brought up Holly, but he answered her. She was there forever without an answer. She says, Nick, the CFO, said, "Hi, Holly. We continue to push forward, and we'll be announcing later this month when the initial units will start shipping."
I've actually already announced that I'm a bird, and then these are my two cocks right here.
So, poor Holly there. Yeah, so lots of good questions on there. I forgot to say this could have been a red flag as well. You have to talk. I'm going to bring it up again.
If you're into games with blood and violence and sexual content and kids in sexual compromising positions and rape.
What games are on? I think he said that about the Nintendo. Oh, this was on my stream, yeah.
On the Nintendo. If that's what you want, then buy a Switch.
That's a CEO statement that instills confidence in me as an investor who wants to put money in. That's not a red flag.
Yeah. Let me shit all over my comment. You ever see Phil Spencer shitting like that on? Oh, if you want to just play games where you rape people, then buy a PlayStation. Yeah, that's all. Those are all the games I got. Someone's going to clip this, but I'm saying this sarcastically. Yeah, man, that's Tommy. All I do is buy those Nintendo Switch rape games. Pre-order them all the time. When I heard him say that, I'm like, this guy is fucking nuts. This guy is nuts. And the thing is, yeah, I was horrible at interviewing him because I just wanted him to shut the fuck up, which was wrong. Those were painful. They were so fucking painful.
It took a guy formerly being connected with the collegiate community. That was fine, though. That was all fine. That was fine. Okay. The Reddit brought up something where.
Yeah, they don't bring up Earthworm Jim, the creator of it, that's on his team enough. Wait till you see the bangers about him. This is nothing compared to what the other video I have in store. Then we get back into Newegg too. I'm gonna have to stop after this video to get some coffee, but we have adventures to go on. Me and the birds, bird breasts. I compare patney and the cream of wheat. They don't even deserve a bash of sugar. Just straight plain flavor is cream of wheat. Dude, the thing is, I used to support the CU pot even after I called, we all have bad takes. I have bad takes all the fucking time. People are going to talk about them on the internet. You take the fucking L, hold the L. I don't know. You get the point. And you move the fuck on. Say what you want about big companies, and I do regular with pleasure, but at least they have people keeping their dumbest behaviors. Yeah, you can't. Do you think Samsung would ever act like Tommy? Do you think Phil Spencer? Do you think that Mark Cerny? Do you think whoever, I forgot the president of Nintendo now. I remember people lost their minds, and he wasn't even directly referring to me. He was just saying, oh, the story. Remember I did that. The PS4 and Xbox One disaster launch is imminent, or whatever the name of my video was. And someone asked him about it, and all he said was so stupid. It was a different time in 2013, but people lost their, oh my God, he said so stupid. Oh my God, he's had a human take on something. Shocking, stunning, and brave. Could you imagine he was Shuhei Yoshida was saying shit like Tommy was saying? People would, it never would happen because it would not be he would be fired. Absolutely, he would be gone. The board would drop his ass in a heartbeat from Sony.
I guess the last portion of this, unless you want to talk about something else, is some of the other comments on Start Engine. They have been identified, some of the identities of some of these people. Did you see that on the Reddit?
Yes, I did see that.
Oh, no.
So I have made it this far without ever mentioning any of them by name, and I'm going to continue to not mention them by name because that's not my focus. But I did see on the Reddit that many...
You don't want to say their YouTube name or their real, or their first name?
I'm just not going to bring them up. We never have, and I'm not going to.
I'll say their comments, though. Can I say their comments?
Sure, you can do that.
Okay. So...
Why? If they're public people, just say their fucking name. Stop with this whole you insinuated so much, you might as well give their blood type. Just shut the fuck up. Everyone's a public figure. So long as you're talking about Holly the investor who's not a public figure from, I think, Republic or whatever, bring them up. Stop with this whole charade of, oh, we won't talk about them because that's not what we do, but you're a piece of shit and you're in a hot tub. You do! Oh my God, drives me insane. It's like decordering. I won't talk shit about ReviewTechUSA, but an insane mentally ill troll who has no grasp on reality told me he stole his house from his parents, but I'm better than saying all that, but I'm not because I'm a piece of shit too. I gotta go make my coffee. Listen to birds and rival turf. Birds. Beautiful. Goddamn fucking birds. Pat and Ian are great men, 10 out of 10, love them both. stunning and brave men. I'm looking for the other OBS fucking. I may give up on OBS and use other software. Shut up. So let's see what else these stunning and brave men have to say. We're in the tail end of this.
It's not bad enough that these cultists and some investors have been blind to all these issues the past few years. That wasn't enough. And a lot of their faces got put in this influencer video that's 2 years old that's now been making the rounds.
Yeah, that 2-year-old
I don't know if I would put John Riggs in there. What are you doing? I don't think he's a cultist. Why'd you put him in there? That was kind of silly.
influencer video got a fresh set of eyes on it. And
I don't think that he's a cultist either. Or maybe they're investors. I don't know.
And some people have noticed that they're in there and their words were taken
Out of context.
out of context. For instance, Shane of Rerez was taken out of context, saying, and of course Tommy took this because Tommy's an egotistical maniac.
Well, if the shoe fits. Huh?
Shane was echoing a sentiment that I think a lot of people had around the early time, that early time, and it was, well, if someone can do it, it's probably Tommy. And I don't know where we all got that idea.
I didn't get that idea anywhere.
We let people.
You tried to give it the benefit of the doubt. You tried. I tried. And then, when I started seeing shit, I know I said this like 7 other times, but it's being brought. I'm like, because you just get tired of always going into everything pessimistic. It's just sometimes, pessimism brings views. And I'm just generally a pessimistic guy, so I guess that's the key to success for me here. But sometimes it's just exhausting, and it's like, all right, cool, here's this guy that I remember I watched episodes of Electric Playground back in the day. I remember seeing him on TV. And I knew, oh man, this guy, I remember thinking back, man, this guy is in love with himself, but he's part of the 99% of people in the industry are in love with themselves, and then the cracks started to show, and I'm like, nah, man. I remember he wanted to do some profitable fucking, and I mentioned it to be transparent, some affiliate program with me. And I'm like, there's no fucking way. And I think he said that to me from the beginning, but unfortunately I can't be bought to prime me to be like, oh, hey, Rich, if you push this, if you push it, it'll be worth your time financially. I didn't give a fuck. And I'm not making, look, man, I have sponsors. I'm not making it yes, I have some sponsor spots I'm behind on, by the way. It's anyway, but I have sponsors. I get it. We're all here to make that bag, as RGT85 would say. But I'm not gonna push a shit product that is people I like the Raycon earbuds. Oh, there they are. They're right there. I use them. They're not bad. I like them. Sometimes I walk around the mall with them. I use ExpressVPN. I don't have it on right now, but 99% of the time I do, so shut up. But when an obvious shit product is blatantly, painfully obvious, you can't be like, hey, Rich, I'll sign you up with an affiliate program. Hopefully you shut up about it. I think people root for Pat and Ian to be wrong about stuff because they're dicks. Yes, I agree. I mean, I'm not that I'm a sweetheart by any means, in case you haven't noticed, but just the fact that they hate me because I didn't give them a heads up about my video calling them out about their bad take about Diablo Immortal. Yeah, that makes you insufferable, gentlemen. And then you have the audacity to say here that you don't owe anyone to be polite. Oh, really? It's kind of like you should practice what you preach.
we let people get reputations that they don't deserve. But a lot of people kind of felt like, well, if anyone was going to do it, it'd be Tommy. You know, wished him well. So, you know, they used the line of him being like, if anyone can do it, it's Tommy, but didn't include the direct next sentence, which was, but I don't think this is
Oh my God, it's actually Santa.
going to succeed. This is going to have a really like difficult uphill battle. Even the stuff that they pulled from like Metal Jesus Rocks was taken out of context in a segment that had, you know, some disparaging stuff to say. The positive comment that was taken from him was followed up with a line about how he didn't like the controller and he thinks the controller is going to be a tough sell. So, I mean, even back then, they are really like bits and pieces, parceling out what they can get that's good and misrepresenting what people's opinions are of it.
Yeah, what they don't look now, companies, like I said in my video talking about Shane from Reruns, this unfortunately happens all the time. It's a shitty practice. But and influencers like Mr. Who's the Boss get pissed off at it, understandably so, because you're taking all the hard work they did with writing the review and calling out its flaws and letting people the being responsible and saying the true positives and negatives of it, true positive and negatives, excuse me. And you're just cherry picking to make it sound like they were gushing over the product. It happens. But the difference with them is that it's not like the Theranos of gaming consoles, which is essentially what the Amico is. It's a complete fucking train wreck. They tried to fake it until they made it, and it didn't work.
So there is at least 1, 2, 3, 4 investors / cultists that commented on this newest crowdfunding campaign on Start Engine, trying to drag others down with them. This is where it's over the line.
I don't know about that, but they're interesting.
But beyond over the line. Because now you're actually trying to take people's money. You're trying to take people's money.
Yeah, no, at DBZ, I saw it not now. Everybody is a narcissist on some level, I want to be told, so I can do. Yeah, they are, but they won't. They'll die on the hill that they're just ass hurt because I didn't give him a heads up making a video about them.
Like, you have no shame, obviously. Just you should be humbled at this point and just go down with the ship quietly. But the fact that you're now potentially trying to influence people to lose their money on this shit is nuts.
Yeah, it's denial. There's no.
They're right about that too. It's that, like, at this point, for the people that may not understand it and go to these websites, you should be like, yo, as much energy as you put in trying to push this thing and defend Tommy and do all this, you should be like, look, this is the true backstory behind it. Look at the SEC filing. Look how bad the books are. Look at how the former CEO, who was cosplaying as a CEO, how he acted. Look at the lack of direction this product has. Look at this weird cult of people. Like, that's a red flag to me, is that cult. I haven't seen it. They're more the cult of Amico is more passionate than the fucking MAGA cult, and that's saying something. That's just weird. It's like everything about the whole project smells like shit. Literally
Stinks like shit.
No way you're going to talk enough people into this that you're going to get the 5 million and this is going to be a success and you're ever going to see your money back. Why are you trying to convince people into throwing money away just because you were stupid enough to do so?
Shirtless Shill left a comment to try to get other people to invest money on here, like, it looks like.
24 hours before having the change of heart.
Yeah, because all the red flags were enough. Another investor who has, according to this image, over 300 videos tagged with Amico. 300?
300. Is he talking about Retro Bro? It has to be Retro Bro. They might. Dude, I don't want to see it, but some of these people are so fucking crazy. They may physically hurt somebody. Dude, they're nuts. I get what you're saying, and I agree. And I'm half kidding, but some of these people, man, are like I said, the Retro Bro, like, was like, your family should be ashamed of you. Like, you know what's funny is that They fucking hate me, and they have been calling out the Amico even longer than me, and the pro Amico people hate me. So I'm just getting fucked in the ass from every single direction. It's
trying to get people to invest. I personally.
Is he invested? I have no idea if he's invested. He sure as hell seems like he is. No one gets as emotional as he gets. And well, no, there's some people who just drink the Kool-Aid, but I just get the sense that he's invested.
Played this gaming console multiple times at events and met a few of the great people at this company. This is a fun, innovative machine that will be enjoyed by families everywhere. I really love the multiplayer co-op / team building aspect of this. It offers great
team building.
It offers great trivia and party games, as well as catering to the old school nostalgia.
Have we seen a
retro gaming crowd?
One trivia game? One?
A slam dunk. Can't lose.
The MAGA cult would win, I assure you.
Very excited to play again and share with everyone I know. This is gonna be big. You ain't getting your money back. It's gone.
Long gone.
Yeah, you can't try to brain. You know, they're trying to do almost like multi-level marketing at this point. Hey, did I tell you about this product that I'm invested in? My team of P. Like, nah, dude, it's over.
Investment's gone, and so is all your wasted time and effort. Enjoy your physical products on your shelf.
Maybe next time, listen to people when they have like concerns instead of just using it as a way to be reactionary and anti someone else.
I would say
so many people got into this fucking system, by the way, because they don't like us.
Yeah, it became the anti-patenting system.
Yeah. Granted, I wouldn't do that, but yeah, like someone said, you're insufferable pricks. That's why.
That was a stupid idea. Backing a system because we don't like two dudes. Fuck you.
Yeah, that really worked out. Your rep.
They're right that that's stupid, but gee, I wonder why it is that way.
Oh, I'm gonna show them.
Yeah, you really showed us.
Rapid fire? I don't know if I could do it. Did I set this up for rapid fire?
Stinks like shit.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool.
Showed us that you're gonna prove us wrong. It worked out.
I wonder if any authors have any thoughts about this.
Just
curious.
The authors are being really quiet right now when it comes to this stuff.
I wonder if there's any authors with something
How about
to say.
another passive-aggressive video at us, asshole? You can do that at some point. The balls to even say our names. And then...
Well, I definitely have the balls to say your names. I know you're not referring to me, Pat and Ian. You're fucking douchebags. Oh no! I thought you're all about not saying names. You like, oh, the shirtless shell, the other snake. It looked like Ian in some other video I saw where he mentions my name. It looked like he was trying to pass a fucking firm bowel movement. ReviewTechUSA. Like, relax, breathe. It's okay. You got an alpha. Like Ethan Ralph calling himself Ralpha male. Seriously.
And there was another person here that helped set up one of the events they're talking about. As someone who has spent time covering the Amico and getting to know many of the executives at the company, I can tell you that I've never been so excited for a game.
You bought into the friendships. That's what they don't see. You bought into the friendships, man. This is business. I only have a couple friends in this business. I'm okay with that. No one is in business to be your friend. You may make a friend or two, but no one's in business to be. Stop. You have to disconnect your friendships, which I guarantee you 99% of them aren't real because they don't give a fuck about you. They just used you, from the product. The product is fucking garbage, and they put the wool over your eyes. I don't know what the fuck went to his head, but again, there's a double standard, and he's never addressed it. He's never addressed the fact that that's all it was. I guess he's just going to, because he would have to admit, yes, Rich, I was ass hurt because I am a very sensitive double standard clown, a clown with double standards. That's the only reason I don't like you, but he'll never come forward and say it because that would make him look like an asshole. If there was something else, Pat, I'll take the L and be like, yo, all right, I crossed the line there. No. If there is, and I'm missing it and just don't remember, which I'm pretty sure I would, I almost guarantee you I would, fine, but there isn't. That's the only reason they don't like me.
Gaming product. Not only have I been covering the project, but I have a Founders Edition pre-ordered. As a married father of 3, I believe this is a gaming system that will bring my family and I.
Just get Switch Sports when it comes out and play that. Problem solved. Who the fuck needs this?
Back together in the living room to enjoy fun, simple games again. Nothing will be better than coming home from a long day's work and sitting down with my 3 girls to play a quick game of Shark together.
Just a little bit of advice.
And he's so funny too. Speaking of hypocrites, Tipster. Look, yeah, what Mundane Matt did back then, it was not okay. You know, and I'm cool with Mundane Matt now. It's water under the bridge, you know, and I distanced myself from him because at the time, that's when I first started like ignoring the trolls, and I just had to stay away from drama because I was knee deep in it at the time. But how could you call out something and literally, oh, I'm all about, oh, you shouldn't be flagging anybody, you shouldn't be doing this, but I'll dox and flag and cry and did, like, you may know this, Tipster, please confirm, but wasn't he allegedly going to Portugal to rape, quote unquote, Andy Worski's sister? It was like to get back at him. Like, you are no better than any of the SJWs you call out. And his email is literally Ralpha Mail. If you are a self-proclaimed alpha male, you are the exact opposite of one. And then look, man, believe me, I know that fucking Jim or Mr. Mediker is no angel by any stretch of the imagination, but the guy has some major illnesses and he's sick with cancer. And you're saying you hope he dies from, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Dude, there's no honor among thieves, man. Yeah, they're totally about free speech if it's the free speech they want. But the same tactics they pretend to be against, if it benefits them, they're like, we don't actually have standards and morals. We'll dox and harass you any day of the week. I'm so glad that people are starting to see the bullshit. Same with the quartering too. Why do you think the quartering tipster has been so shh anytime someone talks shit about him? Because he knows he looks like a fucking hypocritical asshole right now with evidence. How can you refute it?
So that people who don't like us don't make this embarrassing decision again. Your enemy's enemies aren't your friend, dumbass.
And somehow putting in money into a failed venture to prove us wrong on top of it, that's just like...
You know what? I actually think I wrote under this video a very special statement, but they weren't referring to me. I know it because they've already published this video. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. You're doing God's work, boys. Yes, I said that under a video that they talk shit to me about me on. He would not come on. Tommy only will come on if, hey, Tommy, it's not an interview. You either have to shut the fuck up and just let Tommy talk, which is painful, or you have to be like, hey, Tommy, I'm going to metaphorically suck your cock for 3 hours. You want to come on? He won't come. He was, you know what's funny? I could say this now. He was going to come on with his team before he stepped down as CEO. He was going to come on, or maybe he was already stepped down, but magically this changed. It's interesting that I never heard from him again. When this like whole nuke of Phil Adams, when we knew he took over and the SEC filing came out and the kicks, the fourth crowdfunding campaign, haven't heard from them again. He ain't that big. I mean, he gained a little bit of weight. He's not that bad. Jesus Christ. Everyone's making it like he's like, he looks like Ethan Ralph. He doesn't.
You're not just digging your own grave. You are plummeting into the molten core of the earth.
Look at us sitting here, so owned. We're so owned.
And I'm not.
And here is the thing. I think they're pieces of shit, but 99% of what they said here, I agree. Actually, all of it I agree with. I agree with everything. Yeah, all those families. Someone said, oh, yeah, my family's going to fall apart without the Amico. What the fuck did I do? Yeah, I give tipster donations, I give Camelot donations, I give DSP donations, and DSP he has made it abundantly clear that he hates me. Breaking news, someone on YouTube hates me, in case you were wondering. Ada.
Not even running victory laps yet.
The quartering is way better than ReviewTechUSA. Okay. You could like him better, but so that means did I ever put out purposely put out private information and misinformation which was already closed before he put up? Well, who gives a fuck? I'm on a dating app. What the fuck does it matter anyway? He put all that shit out there. Did I do that to him? Or is that okay because you like him and he could do exactly what he supposedly preaches against because it's against people you don't like? So if you like him, I'll just let you know, if you like him, that means I like him because he's a piece of shit. Do you see, is it a reflection in the mirror? Just wondering, just curious.
Yeah, really.
No.
Victory laps can come later.
I wasn't planning on it. I'm sorry, that was building up in me.
Yeah, but like it's insane. And again, this is going to happen more. Okay, quickly, what are the next steps? Because we got about a half hour left where Ian has to leave.
Oh yeah, I got
for the good old.
I gotta
day job.
go. Yeah.
Yeah. Refunds
And people who are sexually, it's incels. I'm sure there's look, here's the thing. I know we have a cross base, and there are actually some sound-minded people that watch him. I don't really know how you could watch someone who is a complete hypocrite and does the exact opposite of what they preach. That's just me. But hey, whatever. Maybe you just like the shit show. But nah, he's just a piece of shit. I don't know what else to say. No, but no, VR Cynic though. Okay, don't just say struck a chord and be like, dude, got him, bro. You got to do me a favor. You have the spotlight right now, and I did it on purpose. Tell me what I'm wrong about there. I have the evidence that he did all that in a video, and now he's quiet because there's many more people catching on to why he's a piece of shit. Tell me what I'm wrong about with there. If you could tell me that I'm wrong, and that he didn't do the things that I said, then you're fine. If you just go, oh, I just owned a lib, bro, that means you don't have an answer. You're like, yeah, Rich, I'm a piece of shit just like him, and I like what he did. He could be anti-cancel culture if it's like Gina Carano, but he could cancel anyone I dislike because I don't have standards. But no, I'll give you the floor. Tell me. Do not anyone time him out. I will block whoever fucking times him out. I want to hear an answer. I'll keep playing the video. We're almost done with these clowns, even though I agree with everything they're saying.
The word should be loud and clear. People you know that have pre-ordered this. Refunds. There's an email. I don't have it in front of me, but you go to the website, ask around.
I think it's like I look around, but I think it's like Kevin at Intellivision Entertainment or something like that is the person you contact for a refund.
I hope you're right, Ian, or else Kevin, whoever the Kevin is on Intellivision, will be pissed at us. But
yeah, the Polymega. Look at this thing. This thing is great. I like it so. At first, you know what? I initially got it. The first one I had was defective. The screen had a dead pixel and had really weird viewing angles. This one's fine. I like this so much. I didn't get a review. Now I'm probably going to get the Evercade VS too. Evercade is what? It's not the VS2. It's Evercade VS as well. How are all these products getting out there during the VS is coming out soon. I'm going to order that tonight, as a matter of fact.
Contact Intellivision, tweet at them, DM them, Facebook. Get your refund back now.
I'm noticing that there is crickets chirping from whoever the fuck that happened. Please explain. The Quartering put up a Facebook post of mine, VR Cynic, from 10 years ago to try to cancel me. He put up my dating profile. He went to a known doxer and troll and swatter Don't believe me. It's the same asshole who did all that shit to Camelot 331. If you don't want to believe me. And went to that psycho and put out that I defrauded my parents. Yeah, that's your guy. If you didn't know that, then I take a step back and I apologize to you because maybe that might change. Go look it up, though. It's all out there. Nicholas DiOrio has a video. It's there. And it's documented. It's not that it was like put together. I'm not the first person to say quarter with cheese, but it's also funny. LOL, that guy. And that's the thing. Look, you could not like my takes on things. You could think I'm a liberal cuck. I don't care about that. Like, that's fine. Look, we all have different political ideologies, and you don't need to agree with me. I know there's many people who think that, but you don't. But I gotta like if you don't know that, or if you do know that, I mean, excuse me, and you're like, yeah, man, I'm cool with all that. I question you at that point. But if you didn't know that, which it seems like you didn't, VR Cynic, I'll have the humility to take back, like, wait, you didn't know that, so that might change your viewpoint.
Now, because something tells me there's not going to be money back for refunds later for however many people still have this. 5,000 people, you know? So, like, get it now. Then accountability is coming. It's already kind of came down on some of these influencers.
Over the past couple months, 2 or 3 months, yeah. VR Cynic. See, I apologize to you. You didn't know this, so I take that back. I can't. I should have asked if you do that person. That's on me.
Influencers that have ruined whatever little reputation.
Of course, Tipster got the mod. I would have mod him a while.
They have and lost money potentially, but I think there'll be accountability also.
Matter of fact, you got Tipster here. He covers all that stuff. Ask him what he did. He knows.
Professionally, for the people involved, for ex-CEO Tommy, for current folks. They'll probably try to Phil Adam. You know, if he was involved potentially before with a failed venture, he might show up again just to get some cash. I don't know, but there should be accountability for those involved. And then finally, down the line, if we get to that point, and if there's an investigation, civil/criminal penalties for those involved if there was anything fraudulent that occurred or misrepresentations. But that's way down the line.
Yeah,
that's going to happen way down the line if it happens. We already know the SEC was aware of misrepresentation before. We covered that with the Jay Allard stuff when he was, you know, saying, "Oh, we got the guy who did the Xbox." No, you don't. You don't have him anymore. You haven't. You can't say that in a sleazy marketing video. You can't say this shit in interviews. You can't say. You can't do that when you're running a company. You can't make up shit that you still have people working with you that helped launch the Wii and shit. Yeah. You can't say this shit and get away with it.
Yeah, they made it like they had this dream team of people, and at best, some of them like called in once a month for 5 minutes.
In my estimation. And trick people and investors. So that's the next steps coming down the line. So that's where we end off for now.
That's it.
This is happening so quickly now that maybe we won't talk about this for another month, maybe in a week or two. We don't know because we didn't think we were talking about it last week. We didn't think.
No, like I said during last week's segment, literally 2 days before, I said, "Has anything been going on with the Amico?" Yes, I hadn't been paying attention. This week, I've been up on it.
Well, we're gonna get the next date by the end of the month. They said so in 2 weeks.
All right, so gentlemen, I still can say that I agree with everything there. You're just very ironic men. You don't have to be polite to anybody. Oh, really? I'll remember. I'll write that down in my notes. Pat, if there is anything that I'm missing that you're angry about me, that if I'm just saying the letter A and letter Z and missing the rest of the alphabet about our fallout, by all means. But I'm positive that I'm not. You want a courtesy extended to you that you feel that you're entitled to not extend back. And that makes you two sad little men. I fuck up all the time. I'm not saying that I'm holier than thou. I'm a dick sometimes, and I get it. But even like to the guy who was just saying that stuff about I didn't know that he didn't know that. And I apologize. And hey, that might, knowing that he was like putting out personal information and putting up my dating profile and putting out a Facebook post from 10 years ago to try to cancel me, working with a troll, putting out misinformation, that may change your opinion a little bit when you find out that stuff. But if you didn't know that changes my opinion of him, and I apologize for assuming that. So anyway, Stop Dropping Retro. He actually covered the Atari VCS back in the day. I like this guy. And he's one of the people, I guess you could say, but I like him, though. It's okay. I actually suggest subscribing to him. I'm going to put the bell on for this dude. He deserves it, even though it means nothing. but he covered the Atari VCS, and this guy is good. He goes more into some people that are working at Intellivision, not necessarily in the books.
Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about the Intellivision Amico. If you clicked on this video, you probably already know what this is. It's this retro console thing made by Tommy.
It's a baby monitor. It does look like someone said that, and it's not leaving my mind. It's a baby monitor.
Tallarico. He's a famous video game composer, and that's kind of weird for a composer.
The controllers already look so dated, and not dated like they're trying to be retro, like dated like they would be like a 2006 Bluetooth product. Is it just me? You know what makes me even more judgmental of this thing is this. I know I keep bringing this up. I am not in any way, shape, or form sponsored by Evercade. By the way, I bought this with my own money off of Amazon. So this is how you get something. This is like a retro, even a gamer's dream. I hate that term because I sound like I'm working on fucking QVC, but I am not. You could call the FTC. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm telling you the truth. But okay, didn't lock out. Never mind. Really good ergonomics on this. I've had better, but they're pretty damn good. I would say an 8 out of 10 D-pad, an actual cartridge with actual games, good emulation, decent screen. This is a great, and there's a lot of people that are passionate about this. Like I said, there was someone on Twitter, Hyrule is Evil. She's been telling me, like, Rich, get an Evercade. And I finally listened, and I'm glad I did. This is how you do it. The controls look like baby monitors we use for COVID patients for staff to call it. Dude, well, hey, maybe that's what they'll do. They'll sell this shell to, like, a dentist's office, Flucus. Unrelated, just watched last night's stream, but DSP sounds like the voice of Duke Devlin from Yu-Gi-Oh! Seriously? Okay, we will after this.
To design a video game console. It's kind of like
hiccuping. Remind me later or like send me a DM on Twitter if we don't do it, because there's like 2 more videos to go through after this. We are here for a while, so everyone get their popcorn and their assless chaps because we got a lot to do.
Beyonce designed a refrigerator. Anyway, the Amico's main pitch is that they want to get their old games like Shark, Astro Smash, Night Stalker. They want to get those and release them with updated.
Like, see how Astro Smash had that style? All the games should have kind of had that stylized look. Like Astro Smash, or not Astro Smash, Night Stalker, excuse me, had like I was like, ooh, that looks cool. Yeah, Oliver, you knew about that, right? I had a Jaguar. That was a great port of Doom. I mean, there's better ones now, but back in the day, that was an exceptional port of Doom.
Gameplay on this like family-friendly focused environment. The Amico is fascinating to me in more ways than one, and we're going to get into that. Now, before we go any further, while I was making this video, a lot of things happened with the Amico. Most notably, Tommy is no longer their CEO. He's been replaced by Phil Adam. Tommy currently has the title of Founder, President, and Chief Creative Officer. And according to a statement he put out, he is, quote, still president and we all make decisions together. It's always been like that. So it seems not much has changed. Tommy is still involved.
Yeah, but would Tommy say... Tommy wouldn't say that, yeah, I've lost all my power because the board took it away from me. He would never say that, even if that's literally what happened. You know what Tommy could have done? Developed Intellivision-type games and sold them in a collection. That would have been... They should have done that in the meantime. So make your own original takes for the Amico and just sell collections on other... But that would make sense. Oh, actually, I think there is an Intellivision cartridge for this, oddly enough.
But I just wanted to point out that executive shuffle happened recently. Also, Intellivision started another crowdfunding campaign on Start Engine. Some people believe the company is going under, but that's a story for another day. It started its life...
Yeah, this is about another banger.
On
I forgot about this.
Which is a crowdfunding site we're very familiar with on this channel. But we're going to head over to Kickstarter because you may not know that this is not the first time somebody has tried to resurrect Intellivision. And hey, would you look at this Kickstarter? This was created back in 2015, and the Intellivision Gen 2 campaign wanted to bring back Intellivision classics like Astro Smash, Shark, and Night Stalker, reimagined and modernized for gamers of all ages. Huh, this looks very familiar. Well, I mean, I guess they do say that...
Watch the plot twist here.
Imitation is the best form of flattery, and then you have...
There's a man. There is a man that no one wants to see. That is Mike Kennedy, Captain Chameleon himself. I'm somewhat learning how to get some games to run on my 1X player by changing the Intel environment values. Rich, it's a good learning. Yeah, it's good. But if I just want to play games at 11 o'clock at night, it isn't a good learning device. It's a device that makes me lose my patience because of Intel's fucked drivers.
Ah, shoot, I'm sorry. Kennedy! What the hell is Mike Kennedy doing here? To recap for those of you who may not know, Mike Kennedy was the perpetuator of what I think we could say...
Yeah. The guy, when a troll messaged him, he was like, because I was critical of him, he wanted to try to flag my video down. Mike Kennedy is also a douche. There's a lot of douches in this industry, in case you haven't realized.
Safely call one of the greatest hoax video game consoles of all time, the Retro VGS, also known as the Coleco Chameleon. This Intellivision revival was Mike Kennedy's idea in 2015 before the Retro VGS, and of course before that, he had found success with his group Mike Kennedy y Los Bravos.
What the fuck is this?
And I would appreciate it if you would help me correct Wikipedia to reflect this.
Yes, that is not the same Mike Kennedy.
Now before you guys start invading the comments, I know that some of you are getting ready to say, why are you even bringing this up, dude? This has nothing to do with the Intellivision Amico. That's a completely different project by Tommy Tallarico. This Kickstarter had less than 200 backers. It fell flat on its face. There's no proof that Tommy was even aware of this campaign. Well, yeah, you might think that. Until you go into the comments and then you see that a Mr. Tommy
Oh, shit!
Tallarico did back this campaign. There's no doubt that Tommy was influenced here. So this new Intellivision revival is a zombified Mike Kennedy idea. And even with the VGS, the similarities are too obvious to miss. It's still this weird gimmicky third-party retro console that goes against the grain. It even has a similar color scheme to the VGS. But this gives us one of the reasons why I think the Amico is fascinating. Because to me, it's like a sociological experiment to see how the VGS would performed on the market. Because as you remember, the VGS never even secured funding to start any development and be anything more than just...
No, and that's why they tried to get out some bullshit prototype to put the wool over someone's eyes to start getting money, which is unbelievable.
Plans on paper. With the Amico right now, a lot of people are debating, is this console going to be successful? Is this a viable product? Will people buy it if they saw it on store shelves? It's the same debate we were having back then with the Retro VGS. I see the Amico pitch as a surrogate for the VGS, whether Tommy likes that or not. And so, as one of those talking heads that covered that debacle, this is incredibly interesting to me. But it isn't a perfect test. There are some differences, of course, like the VGS relied on physical cartridges. And another difference is that the Retro VGS had a completely unlikable douchebag as its CEO. Or at least I thought that was the difference.
Yeah, because Tommy's just... He's just, peaches and sunshine, isn't he?
When Tommy Tallarico revealed himself to be a completely unlikable douchebag. This happened in response to a leak published by Ars Technica. Somehow they were able to get access to the Amico developer portal, and they published...
Because they had it public. Intellivision fucked up. They didn't do anything nefarious.
Published a lot of stuff that Tommy did not want the public to see. In response, Tommy decided to issue a legal threat. There are many reasons why this is a bad idea. First off, because it doesn't solve your problem. The info is out there. It is being discussed. Your lawyer is not a time machine. You can't make the leak unhappen. The internet owns it now. I've been on the receiving end of legal threats before, and let me tell you, Tommy, there is no better way to embolden your enemy than by issuing a legal threat. I would not be shocked if Tommy goes on a suing spree after this fails. And I am sure that I will be on that list. Oh well. The truth happens. Takedown notices that I wear as a badge of honor. It's the price I pay for covering the truth. A legal threat only adds fuel to the flames, because there are other repercussions that are not so obvious at first. Which is why the word of the day today is optics. I know that... No, Pat and Ian would be first. I would be a close second, though. Tommy is trying to keep a grassroots image. He wants to show that he's a gamer just like you or me. But he is the CEO of a company, so I don't know if he understands the PR consequences to what he does. I don't even know if he has a PR department. Maybe it's just him.
It is just him. He's too arrogant to care about a PR department. And even if he does have a PR, he may very well. He's not going to hire anybody but a yes man. Anybody who's like, yeah, Tommy, they'll be fired before they even finish. Yeah, that's a bad idea. There's no way. You cannot work for Tommy unless it's like, yes, you're amazing with everything. Thank you, sir.
So let's explain the hidden meaning of fighting these stories like this.
This will cover. Thank you,
First
Michael
off, it
Furberger.
admits that the news report is true. It also admits that the news is...
I mean, DBZ King, he may not want to because it'll make him look even worse than he already looks. But at that point, he's like, all right, I'm back in video games live. And he would want to make an example of people like me. Don't tell the truth about anything. Just do as the corporate masters tell you.
embarrassing, and that you don't have a reasonable explanation to give, because if you did, then you would do that instead of calling your lawyer. It also amplifies the story tenfold. It tells the whole world that there's important stuff to be discussed here, and because of this, there's not even any deterrent value to calling your attorney. I'm sure Ars Technica loved the attention that article got after Tommy's meltdown. If they get more secret information, I'm sure they're going to publish it again, and they hope that article is going to do just as well. And sending the CEO to fight the story makes your company look small. People will ask, why can't you handle this like any other company? And they'll assume because you're set up in a garage. Rather than fight the story, they could have just ignored it, which is a valid PR move. If that had happened, I think the story would have gone around Atari Age for a little while and then disappeared, because the console was not on a lot of people's radar. Now people know.
It's the same exact reason why when trolls make videos, oh, Rich, why don't you respond to them? It's like kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't, but you are super damned if you. Well, why do you think? Even if the videos are bullshit, what about if I go flag them? What are people going to think? It adds fuel to the fire. More people pay attention to it, which they wouldn't have before. And they're like, oh, Rich is trying to suppress these videos. Maybe there's truth. No, there's no truth to them. So I just let them exist, fizzle out, and pay no mind. Even if some of them gain traction. Me reacting to them is going to do me no favors. And it's the same thing here. And on top of it, it was a journalist doing their job. You gave public access to that information accidentally. They're a tech journalism website. They did their job. It was your fault for fucking up and your company's fault for fucking up and making it public, Tommy. You should have shut your goddamn mouth. But that would be me. That would require you to have common sense and not be a narcissist. I forgot. Oops. Stupid me.
About your console for all the wrong reasons. Also, the leak.
Yeah, he's doing great PR. Retro bro.
Leak wasn't even that bad. Everyone knew this would be a low-powered machine. I mean, this was going to be something like an Ouya. And because of that, I've got to say the leak was a little boring. It was very technical about like the specs of the device. But to me, those specs show that they do have a concrete plan. This thing will be real. The leak did not show any plans to take the money and run. But of course, the biggest benefit is that your CEO won't look fucking insane. Seriously, what is that? What kind of CEO fights people on Twitter? Not only does it look trashy, but like we said, it makes your company look small because obviously you don't have a PR department or any way to resolve this quietly. But a complete lack of PR is not the only problem with the Amico. There are other problems with their business model that run far deeper. Case in point is their 10 commandments of game design. These are rules that every developer is going to have to follow, but it's really just a list of restrictions. I don't think any of them are conducive to game development. The first one's like every game must be rated E, every game must be playable with little instruction, every game must be balanced for different skill levels. That's all very kid-centric, but it makes the console look like it was designed by Leapfrog.
Yeah, that's true.
Down at number 7, you start to see the restrictions here. It says every game must be 2D or 2.5D. I guess that's because he wants to focus on it being like a retro console, but this is purely a restriction. There's tons of early 3D retro stuff that was fun. I've got a huge soft spot for those early 3D games. You know those ones that are all jittery and shit? What about Elite on
Yeah, that is kind of true. Why don't you just let the developers innovate with the limited hardware?
NES? That's a masterpiece. Some of the most amazing games from the past came from developers trying to see how far they could push their hardware with no restrictions. This really made me wonder, has Tommy even played the original Intellivision? Because it had 3D games on it, and my favorite Intellivision game is... B-17 Bomber is a very primitive flight sim. It's janky as hell, but it absolutely takes place in 3 dimensions. And it's free roaming too, you can travel anywhere on the map. The whole 2D thing is just a rose-tinted vision of what retro was. I don't like that kind of artificial limitation. That's really why this console is not for me. When I think of retro gaming, I think of all the obscure, weird stuff that we don't see anymore. Not a walled garden of games that just repeats what's already been done with a new coat of paint. The one thing I agree with is number 9, no in-game purchasing or DLC. Everything else is just a list of why I'm not the market for this thing. So at number 4, they have this requirement that every game must get a 7 out of 10 or more on Intellivision's quality control scale. But have you seen the games that they made?
Yeah. Who's that scale? Tommy?
For this thing so far? Yeah, I'm sure it's a 7 out of 10 for you. What about the people who buy that shit? And yes, I know, I haven't played it yet, but when you've played games long enough, you can look at gameplay and figure out what's going on.
Thank you.
You can't buy everything on the shelf, so you're gonna have to judge a game by its cover. And these games do not look like 7 out of 10 material. How about this? I got an idea. If you're so pro-consumer, then why don't you copy Steam's return policy? They're a digital marketplace as well, and they're probably the most successful out.
Why does he have Shower with Your Dad Simulator? Told you that's a real thing.
There. As long as I haven't played a game for more than 2 hours, I can return it if I just don't think it's fun. So why don't you copy that policy? But of course we know why they won't do that. It's because none of these games look like they have more than 2 hours
I love that delay with the dice, like that's supposed to be real.
worth of content. But the problems don't end there. Now I've got to tell you about Doug Tenapple. This guy is great friends with Tommy Tallarico. He's on board. He's the creator of Earthworm Jim. And he's also a fucking walking clan rally.
Yes, he is.
But don't take my word for it. Here's him talking about Nazis.
Hitler was well-meaning, so I don't want to hear about your intentions.
That's true.
I don't want to hear about your intentions. He was just exterminating quote-unquote rats.
Which, if you know anything about history, is completely wrong. I mean, Doug, the reason why the...
You can't even argue context of that. Why would you even say that? But, okay, maybe some of you will be like, Rich, maybe he was just being sarcastic. Watch what else he says. Jesus, you don't even joke about. That's like something you just don't go a mile near. Like anyone defending Gina Carano, I saw what she was trying to compare something to like the Jews, and I'm like, no, you're a fucking asshole.
Death camps were outside of Germany is because they were hiding it from their population. So no, they weren't acting with the best of intentions. They knew what they were doing was awful. And if you want more proof, just look up what the Sonderkommandos were. They were created to erase any evidence of the Wait a second. Am I explaining to a grown adult why the Nazis were bad? Yeah.
Yes, you are doing exactly that.
And don't think that that's an isolated incident. He's been accused of being a homophobe, so I went to his podcast, and I clicked on the episode that was very helpfully titled, Is Doug Tenapple a Homophobe? And even more helpful, he admits in the first 14 minutes that, yes, he is a proud homophobe.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. And Tommy won't fire this guy. Oh, no.
But does that really matter? Because aren't you a Christphobe? He actually said that.
Yes, he says
Like,
that.
like I'm a homophobe.
They feel so justified in
I'm a
their
homophobe.
Well, at least he admits it. God bless.
attacking.
But is every non-believer a Christophobe? So to
Right.
admit that
So he's trying to say that if you are not religious, oh, well, you're a Christophobe. So I guess I could hate gay people then. Why would you, and he's still actively like this, why the fuck, it's not like he's had an epiphany and this was something 30 years ago and he's a much different person. Like, this is still him. Why would you let him on your team? I understand, okay, everyone's like, oh, Phil Adams didn't really have a part in the whole thing with the Kickstarter, blah, blah, but he was still part of what was considered one of the biggest scams in retro gaming, and you're trying to make another retro gaming console, and you would put him in a leadership position knowing that he has that baggage? You don't know what you're doing, Tommy. You live in a fantasy. You live in a fantasy world. And you defend this guy.
You have an irrational fear of Christianity is why. Not that you have a point.
Tommy's because Tommy's on some of that shit too, man. I don't know exactly. It's kind of speculation, but listen to some of the stuff he defends him. Watch.
But that you're a Christophobe.
Damn, Doug. Checkmate. You got me there, man. You know, I can't pass by a church on a Sunday without protesting. I don't want Christians to get married or raise children. But you know what? I wonder how much of a believer he is, because his own Christian fan base is asking him to stop using slurs, because that's very unchristian of him. I see they got another episode titled Weed is for Files.
Yep.
You blew it.
I am stoned basically every day, and I could safely confirm 150% that I am not a pedophile, Doug. This guy is a fucking treat, huh? As a father of 3 children, go fuck yourself.
But I couldn't bring myself to listen to it anymore because their podcast is so fucking boring. It's one of those holy roller podcasts where they pick something from pop culture.
Oh, we should listen to them and roast the shit out of them. Oh, we were going to do that. Not tonight, but that'll be fun. I like ripping apart terrible people. It's fun. Hey, who's this? It's Stop, Drop, and Retro in the building. Oh. You know what's said is that Earthworm Jim is a really good game, too. And 2 people that worked on it, I hate both of them. I hate Tommy and I hate this guy. I'll still play it, though. Different time. Like, I think Ren and Stimpy is an absolutely brilliant cartoon, but I know John Kay is a piece of shit. A lot of my humor came from a few places. It came from Beavis and Butthead, Ren and Stimpy, Tim and Eric. That's where a lot of my humor came from. Doesn't mean I don't think that John Kay is a fucking monster, though.
Like Alien, and then they say, "Let me tell you how that movie is all about my friend Jesus. Even the director didn't know that." And then we'll play some B-17 Bomber. Many people have been asking Tommy to leave Doug behind. One Amico fan even wrote this long plea on Reddit, which Tommy...
Yeah, like, this isn't a guy who just, like, slipped and said something stupid once. Like, he's genuinely, like, a super religious... He called me a pedophile because I'm a fucking pothead, literally right now.
Tommy responded to, and he said that no, he will not drop Doug. So let me ask...
Tommy, I forgot about this. Tommy, what the fuck is wrong? You're an idiot. No, you're not an idiot. You are so egotistical that your head is so far up your own spray tanned ass, Tommy, that you can't see the light of day. You have a homophobic, basically like far right religious freak, proudly of it, who proclaims all these things. Why would you're a fledgling company. Why the fuck would you want any of that near your company? Oh, come on, dude. You're a fucking buffoon. You're a buffoon. I have no fucking words. But I will have plenty of more words. And it's so funny. Tommy, you're the same fucking person. You're sitting there saying you're anti-cancel culture, but I'm pretty sure that Tommy tried to get a journalist shitcan for being a journalist. But I thought she'll say it here. There's a pattern I'm noticing. The Quartering, Ethan Ralph, Tommy Tallarico, Pat and Ian. They're all anti this and anti that, and we're not here to be polite. But when the shoe's on the other foot, the same things that they call people out for and say that and judge them for, they'll use the same tricks and weaponry that they say they're against. It's strange. It's almost like you're a bunch of fucking cowards who actually don't have standards. Weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
Why is he keeping Doug? Why is it so important to him? Do you guys see the
Because Tommy's a piece of shit too.
contradiction there? Why is he so high and mighty about all of his games getting an E rating? So he's
And he has a guy who just called potheads pedophiles. Who tried to justify himself being homophobic. Oh, well, you don't believe in Jesus Christ? Well, I guess you're a Christ-phobic then. So if you're a Christ-phobic, I could hate gay people. What? How does that? Fire him!
drawing a line in the sand when it comes to digital violence, but when it comes to Doug Tenapple, who preaches real-world intolerance, that's totally okay with.
Because they're pieces of they're both all of them are pieces. You noticing a trend? The hypocrisy trend with all these people, whether it be Tommy Tallarico or again the Quartering or Ethan Ralph. They're all tough guy, I'm alpha male, oh, blah, 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 I'm alpha male, but I'll cry like a bitch and use the same exact tactics because I don't really care and I'm just a hypocrite. I'm so big and so tough. I'm Ethan Ralph and I'll fly to Portugal to pretend to rape another content creator's sister and get beat up in the process because he hurt my feelings. All these alpha males, man, they're so, I'm noticing a trend that you're the biggest betas on the planet. I don't know. I kiss birds, though.
With Tommy. For now, let's get away from Doug and his boring podcast, because I promise you, Tommy's appearances are much more entertaining for all the wrong reasons. This one really stood out to me. It's an interview he did with a YouTuber.
You mean the Amico kid? Oh, I'm sorry. This is even though he's a public figure because he decided to open a YouTube channel and his footage is being used in another video, according to Pat and Ian, I'm punching down. Aren't you punching down too, though? I mean, if with your mindset, Pat and Ian, when you talk about Smash JT, he's a smaller YouTube channel too. I mean, believe me, I've had plenty of choice words about Smash. I think he's still here. He can verify that. And I said them. They're there. It's weird. It's almost like it's okay for you to punch down, too. Man, those double standards. The hits keep on coming with you boys, huh? Whoa, it's a CU podcast. They get hurt and they will bleed out of their ass.
And it's got all kinds of crazy in it. The YouTuber is definitely a super fan.
No, it's good. I mean, that's what I liked about watching you.
Oh, and it makes my skin crawl that people thought I was this for a minute. And again, you know what? It was on my part. And I think maybe Tommy does it on purpose because he just wants a platform just to make it how great he is. Like, let me just talk to get death so the person interviewing me is exhausted and just that's what I did. I just wanted it to end, so he could have said that the Amico will make your penis grow 6 more inches, and I'd be like, oh, wow, that's great, Tommy. Which is bad. That's horrible. That's on me. That's on me. I just wanted it to end. It was like the interview version of a colonoscopy. I just wanted it done with. I love Jesus, but this guy is nuts. There's a difference, yes. Also, Tommy more than likely agrees with his viewpoints. Of course. I'm pretty sure. I can't confirm it. I know Tommy's pro-Trump. I remember he got very ass hurt when I called out Trump on something stupid he said. He got pissed off at me for it. Dude, he's in the same... And I'm not saying every Trump supporter is like that, but every person that's like that is a Trump supporter. That's why when I put that out there, because like you're getting defensive over Trump with that. You're getting he got all freaked out because he knew it would make him look terrible. But keeping a guy who literally is a homophobe who called pot smokers pedophiles, that's great PR for your company. Having a person who was involved in, even if it was very small portion, of what was considered the biggest gaming scam, which was the Coleco Chameleon in the retro gaming community, having become the CEO of your company, Tommy doesn't live in fucking reality. Wait, he's only 38? No. No, stop it. Dude, people get on my... I don't win either way. Like, I shave my beard, I look like a 12-year-old thumb. I let my beard grow. Dude, no.
For the last 2 years.
I'm honest.
Extremely honest.
He's honest. Oh, he's honest. That would be a lie.
Extremely honest.
He's only 30. Dude, he looks like he's in his 60s. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just being like, people get on my shit when my beard's gray that I don't think, if I dye my beard, I think I look my age. Like, he looks... Okay, Trump and Tommy use the same tanning. Yes, they do. They spray tan each other's asses. Just picture that. Tommy, would you mind spray tanning my tremendous cheeks? They are, as you see, I am well hung, unlike Marco Rubio said. Dude, I thought he was like maybe at best. Maybe, and I'm being generous, like maybe his late 40s. I really thought 50s plus, though. No. Whatever. Don't worry, I'm sure I'll be called a bully for this, for having an opinion on a public video by a public figure.
Probably too much, but yeah.
Tommy, on the other hand, just starts ranting about cancel culture and anonymous commenters.
And, oh yeah, I saw this, and Snestastic shits himself because he wants nothing to do with it.
They, the Twitter culture, if you will, or the cancel culture has...
Oh, Tommy, you're part of it, dude. You cry anytime someone says shit about you. To the point you'll DM me on Facebook. You are part of cancel culture. You are you and the Quartering go to the same cancel culture fucking conventions. And then you pretend with your public personas that you're not about cancel culture. You are liars. You are absolute fucking liars. All of you. I'm trying to see if I missed a StreamLabs here. Anyway, has
put people on notice. Anything you say 5 years from now, you're going to get called out on. I think it's an awful thing that where social media has become, specifically Twitter too.
He says that people who disagree with him aren't normal.
Yeah,
but yeah, exactly. Like, I'm anti-cancel culture until you do something I don't like, then I will try to cancel you instantly or cry to you instantly. Oh my God, I can't with people, man. This is why I've become like a cynical prick the older I get, because there's so many fucking gems of human beings out there, bro.
Absolutely. But the reality is that the average normal person.
The average normal person lives in my fantasy and tells me I do nothing wrong and I'm amazing. That's exactly what he's saying. God, could you imagine working with a guy like this? I have worked with people that are similar to him before, and it's a nightmare because they're paying you literally to affirm how great they are. It's a very tiring thing.
Person who finds out about it is positive about it, or they just don't say anything,
Tommy, you're friends with that freak. Do you think you're some kind of authority on what a normal person is? At one point,
yeah. I can't believe you would have that guy there with those fucking horrendous takes that are like conscious, consistent throughout the years takes. I forgot about this Earthworm Jim asshole. I forgot about this. This is bananas.
The YouTuber has to tell Tommy to stop going into politics.
How dare you like us?
Why don't you just hire Richard Spencer as your PR person? Just get it done with. Just finish it off, man. Jeez, mud on.
Certain political party when mine's different. Why
Oh,
are
don't go there.
you know?
He's like, hey, please shut the fuck up, please. I don't want to deal with any of this. They already hate me because I'm involved with you. I'll stop the applause. I'm sorry.
Don't go with politics, Jesus.
And then I noticed that Tommy said this.
People love to say, "Oh, it's the next Ouya." Well, there's so many things that
It wishes it was the next Ouya. It wishes. Tommy jerks off at night knowing he might sell 200,000 of these. It's not going to happen. There is 0% chance it will have the success of Ouya, which, I may add, was a failure. Yeah, he spray tanned all the way, dude. He spray tanned all the way.
that one, were not crowdfunded.
Oh, wow. Seems like he's extremely honest.
How about a social media platform where
How about a social media platform where people could just affirm what I am great all day? Oh, did I hit the applause again? Man. Got to take some more of this weed, Doug. I guess in your eyes, I'm a pedophile. In my eyes, you're a piece of fucking garbage who should be banished from the industry. So, cheers. Doug. Yeah, at least the Ouya act. The Atari VCS launched, Tipster. I have one. That's what made me buy it. I was like, okay, Atari, Uncle, I'm gonna get one. It was a ripoff. It is the absolute biggest piece of shit that I thought it was gonna be, but I had to give them credit. They got it to retail. No, I'm not gonna hit the applause again. I'm gonna cluck. Tommy used to rip them apart all the time, Tipster. Tommy used to make fun of the Atari VCS. Say, oh, where's the Atari VCS? What games is it? Hey, you know what it has? It has a fucking console that I could buy, but I got it at Best Buy. Tommy, what the fuck do you have? What the fuck is this? What is? I didn't even open up biplanes. Who gives a shit? Who wants to see biplanes? What is this? What? You give me a fucking coin? What am I doing with this? This is not a cartridge. This is an RFID card. Let me show you. I'm going to bring this home again, and I don't care. I'm repeating myself. And these are impossible to get into. Fuck. This. Why am I so angry about this? Calm down, Rich. This is a cartridge, Tommy. You may be familiar with these. This is a cartridge. This is a system. Look what you do with an Evercade. They win. You lose. You blew it. Should I pay for someone to draw Tipster in a fairy princess outfit? Yes. Leaving news stories under Rich's pillow? Yes. Call it the news? Yes. Oh, yes. I called him the news fairy. I forgot about that. We have to give him a Street Fighter for that one.
You win. Perfect. Stinks like shit.
I know I've been metaphorically kissing this thing's ass. I swear on the Federal Trade Commission myself, I am not sponsored by Evercade. It's just a really cool fucking product. Very impressed with it.
everything's just happy and positive.
Dude, you wouldn't last a fucking day.
Who wants to be as a person who gets called every name in the book every fucking day, every day of the week, 24/7, 365? I want the cesspool, Tommy. That's what social media is for. Human beings are going to be, you know what social media has really done? Spray tan Tellerico. It has allowed us to see how horrible we really are. We were living in this illusion before, like in the 80s, 90s, and even the early 2000s, before like high bandwidth internet, and we had the whole world in our pockets, that, oh, we've moved on from racism. We've made great strides. We've moved on from homophobia. We've made great strides, but holy fuck, human beings are not as evolved as we thought, because everyone could document every horrible thing that human beings do 24/7 because we have the entire world in our pockets. You want to live in you want a Trump basically kind of social media where, hey, Tommy Tallarico is great. He sure ran the Amico well, but you realize that they poorly mismanaged money and the leadership was terrible, and Tommy would, you know, have bad PR and do stupid shit on social media. Oh, you're just a hater, and you're just you have to get off this platform. Like, it's insane. That's social media. Human beings are terrible, Tommy. Get over it.
On that site. And then in the second half of the podcast, they just start talking about The Secret.
Just block them, dude. People annoy the shit out of me and spam me. I had to report a fucking... I had to tell people to report there was a bot that was telling people to go on WhatsApp last night pretending to be me. I should wear that Intellivision shirt. I gotta find it. I looked for it the other day. I can't find it.
Not shitting you. You could go check it yourself.
A daily calendar, daily teachings every day.
I was playing a game while I was listening to this, and I stopped and I was like, am I listening to the same episode? I thought it ended and YouTube took me to like some holistic channel or something. If there's an alarm bell going off in your head, and I stopped and I was...
Calendar, daily...
In the second half of the podcast, they just start talking about The Secret. I am not shitting you. You could go check it yourself.
A daily calendar, daily teachings every day.
I was playing a game while I was...
Oh my God. This is what I'm saying. Thank you. Thank you. If you're still here, Stop, Drop, and Retro. I don't know if you are. This is what I'm talking about. And you just want it. It doesn't make how I handle the interviews right. I still should have done a better job, and I own that. But it's just like, oh my God. Okay, yeah, Tommy, just put out the affirmation. Because you don't want to ask another question, because then it sends Tommy down, okay, how can I jerk off to myself for another 2 hours and talk about shit to tell you how great I am? And it's just like, all right, yeah, Tommy, that's great. Just, you're like, all right, so if I talk less, he will talk less, right? I can make it through this. I could get through. Oh, Jesus Christ. Now he's bringing out the book. He's bringing out the fucking book. I'm going to die. I'm literally going to die right now. There's The Secret, Pat and Ian. And yes, I was wrong. I was wrong for just letting him talk. But the reason that I let him talk, because the man just talks more if you respond. He's just like an AI bot that's just defective, that just keeps going. Vara Dark is one of the few anti-console that actually practices what she preaches. She's actually a cool person too. I've talked to her before. Very nice person.
Listening to this, and I stopped and I was like, am I listening to the same episode? I thought it ended and YouTube took me to like some holistic channel or something. If there's an alarm bell going off in your head right now, I hope it's an alarm telling you that this project is being run by people who have no business sense at all.
No!
I mean, even putting Tommy's wackiness aside, why on earth would you have Doug TenApple...
Yeah, why would you want someone with thing after thing after thing of awful takes? He continues with the awful takes. He is a bull in a china shop with awful takes, just continuing on. It's not like he slipped up once and said something stupid and regretted it.
Anywhere near your project. When it comes to artists who have been blacklisted for a good reason, you don't get much worse than Doug TenApple. Maybe John K. is worse.
John K. is literally a pedophile and child molester. I would say that we could all agree on that.
Hey, you know what? That's a good idea. Tommy, you guys should hire Doug TenApple and John K. to make a game together.
I'm telling you, hire Richard Spencer. Hire Alex Jones, and just imagine Alex Jones peddling the fucking Amico.
Together. I know John K. isn't a game developer, but neither is Doug TenApple, so that shouldn't matter. I'm sure that's exactly what your family-friendly game console needs. You guys can...
Yeah, and you're trying to have like the most milquetoast people that you're trying to offend. No, wait till they like say the... You were bragging that you were going to go on Ellen DeGeneres to show off the console, and you have fucking Doug TenApple working for you? Live in your fantasy world, Mr. Tellerico. Have Dan Snyder. Just get them all, man. Get the whole pack. Hire one of the Trump kids.
Call it Christophobes Ate My Neighbors. And have you heard about the new Earthworm Jim TV show? And did you hear that they want nothing to do with Doug TenApple?
No, the original creator is not involved at all. Why would they want to distance themselves? I have no idea.
You see? How hard was that? They are able to use his IP while keeping him out of the project entirely. And Jim has
Because Tommy is a piece of garbage too. He's a piece of garbage too.
some views that I'm sure are filling Doug Tenapel with joy right now. That's what a normal business does, because they know someone like that upsets people and turns them off to your product. And I know that Intellivision can just say, well, Doug isn't part of the actual Intellivision team. Earthworm Jim 4 is a third-party game. Yeah, but remember this photo? I got it from the Amico campaign page on Fig.
And they have a guy that no one would want to invest in on an investor website page. You can't make a story like this up, because like I always say, no one would believe you that people would be this stupid and arrogant. But here we are. They are this stupid and arrogant. It is right here with a picture in front of us. Holy shit.
Sony and Microsoft let third-party developers share their stage with them all the time. But I guarantee you, no matter who the developer
They can have Doug on there.
was, they would never let Doug get
Mark Cerny will not be standing next to Doug, I assure you. Earthworm Jim 3D doesn't seem so... I heard that game was shit,
anywhere
actually.
near the stage. Did I just compare the Amico to Sony and Microsoft? What the fuck is wrong with me? Moving on, there's one more thing that really sets off an alarm in my head. Take another look at Mike Kennedy's Kickstarter page. There's something off about it. It's so unlike Mike Kennedy, it feels like this came from an alternate universe. Do you know what it is? There's no game console involved at all. These games were just going to be digital downloads. Remember, this was months before the Retro VGS campaign went live. That's why it flew under a lot of people's radar, because it was just a side project. Mike Kennedy was still busy hyping the Retro VGS at the time. So why didn't they just move these games onto the Retro VGS? Why didn't we get the Intellivision Chameleon? This is just my own speculation, but I think the credit for that goes to Keith Robinson, the owner of Intellivision, who was still alive at the time. When the games are this simple, they don't need their own console. They don't even need a cartridge. Why should the consumer need to buy a separate game console
For this.
for something like this? It's one of the most persistent questions for the Amico that I haven't heard a good
Dude, fucking PS2 could run this game, no problem.
answer for. These games could exist on a tablet. I have more complicated
He just took those stop, drop, and retro. God damn it. You could play fucking AAA games on an iPad Pro now.
games on my phone. This is a total vanity project, which is sad because the original Intellivision is such a neat little system. It has a very unique selection of games that get surprisingly complicated. It amazes me that this came out around the time of Atari because it's way more sophisticated. I started playing it while researching for this episode and I really got into it. I even bought one, it's coming in soon. If you have any interest, you should find one of these collections. They're
After the Wii U video, obviously.
way cheaper than the Amico and they still incorporate the controller pretty well. This is what Intellivision should have always been, not this dumbed down version they're trying to sell us. As for the future of the Amico, some people are saying it might never come out. They are definitely hurting for money, and that's worthy of its own episode later on as more things develop. But right now, I just wanted to point out some of the broader issues I see with their business model, and show you where this demon spawn of an idea came from. It's such a weird device, and I'm sure the story...
It's such a weird story. It's so amazing how it's tying... Like, I never thought... Like, I knew that the console had a chance. It didn't. I always said from the beginning, man, it has an uphill battle, and that was me being kind, and I was trying to be objective and give it a chance. But if you told me that this whole plot twist would come, this whole story, this Better Than Twilight story would come back to the Coleco Chameleon literally directly in some ways. Here we are, though. It happened.
Story doesn't end here. But that's all I have for today. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.
God, oh yeah, the Smock Z. Oh man. Okay. I'm gonna go grab some seltzer. I'll be back in a minute. I gotta go grab some seltzer. Where is? I keep on looking for the different color. Enjoy some birds. What happened to this channel? It became the most amazing fucking YouTube channel you've ever seen is what happened to it, motherfucker. So thank you. So we have some Newegg shocking incompetence. We'll probably 20 minutes. This will probably be how we wrap up the stream, but that means we have plenty to go to, and then we have even more. But then we'll do that tomorrow because I need to get my ass up. I need to get Wii U footage either way. So let's have some fun.
Oh my god. What the hell? Why'd you sell this to me? What's your fucking problem, Newegg?
Oh, Jesus.
So if you didn't see our recent video about Newegg, the short version is that Newegg basically tried to scam us out of $500 by claiming that our motherboard we sent back, which we had never opened nor used, had both thermal paste attached to the motherboard and also bent pins. They changed the story a few times. Well, after complaining on Twitter, we did get a refund and the motherboard back. So step one to getting a refund from Newegg is spend 14 years building a YouTube following, and then step two is tweet at them. And anyone can do it. It's a completely accessible and very customer-friendly option for refunds and RMAs. All you have to do is commit
seriously,
your entire adult life to it. Let's get started. We're going to open up the box and see what Newegg actually sent back to me. I'm a little bit afraid to see what it is, but we need closure on this storyline. Before that, this video is brought to you by Squarespace. We use Squarespace for our own GN store and juggle complex, multi-piece orders all the time with it. Squarespace makes it fast for us to roll out new products with detailed pages full of galleries, videos, and descriptors. It's also useful for your own resume sites, for photographer or project portfolios, or for starting your new small business idea. There's never been a better time to try and start your new business than right now, and we can vouch that Squarespace makes it easy. Visit squarespace.com/gamersnexus to get 10% off your first purchase with Squarespace.
There have been ads for Squarespace around for whatever.
So
it's over. The ad, what was it? 20 seconds.
Posted the Newegg video about 6 hours ago at the time of filming this. You should watch it if you haven't yet. And I keep getting calls from Newegg. Funny how that works. When I was
Yeah, it's amazing how that. Oh, when I was actually complaining as a customer, they know it, but then all of a sudden, when it's a PR disaster for them because they didn't do what they were fucking supposed to, then the phone calls are all. They have the time to call you now.
Just a
Weird how that
normal customer in their support chat, and I asked them to please call me so that I could explain the situation and get support for the issue. They ignored me, ignored my request. And even though I was talking to a support person right then, they said to call back later at a certain time. And I had already called that number several times and been not helped. But now they're willing to use the phone number that I sent via chat because the executive team is looking at it. You know, Newegg, I'm not going to answer your calls. You can email us at this point, just like I had to do for you. Isn't that fun? Now you get to go through the slow channels to get support for your issue of being lambasted for being garbage to your company. Okay, let's open up the motherboard.
Man, how does he? Damn, he's going savage. I love it.
So once again, this was not intended to be a content piece when we started it. As we explained in the first video, it was just us buying a motherboard because we actually needed a motherboard. That simple. And then they sent it to us. We never opened it because by the time we got it, we no longer needed the board. We had solved the issue. And I opened a return. This is completely within Newegg's publicly stated, I believe it's a 30-day return window. We were well within that window. It's a very simple policy. They make this big deal about there's not even any restocking fees anymore, which honestly I would have been fine with paying. But they say there's no restocking fees. Aren't we so great? We'll even help you with the shipping label, and then we'll just reject your warranty claim, or in this case, the return claim, and we'll keep your $500. You know, the normal cost of shipping something domestically. That's just, you're just paying for that service. So here's the board that I bought that I actually never saw, because basically, as soon as it came in, I went back out the door, no longer needed it. Wow, it looks like
Is that the new 12900K? The Z4? I haven't paid it. I want to build one though.
It's like, it's not even open yet. It looks
Yeah, I know. We're gonna probably do that tomorrow. Growing up 15.
really bad. A couple things here you need to know backstory. So I didn't realize this when I bought it, but it was technically an open box item now. Even though it's open box, they still have to sell you something as it's advertised, which is theoretically functioning. So even if you're buying open box, which by the way, I don't recommend, especially at this point, but even if you're buying open box, you should still get some kind of guaranteed, like this thing's gonna work, unless you're buying e-waste or something that was open box. So the way open box, as I understand it, works is someone else before owned this board bought it.
I'm sure that they need to do house cleaning all the way up the corporate ladder. Did I leave corn cobs? Oh, I heard about that. Who the why corn cobs? There has to be a story behind that.
Maybe they said the same thing I did, which was, sorry, I didn't need it, send it back. And Newegg gets it back. Someone on the RMA team inspects it to some degree and decides that this thing is resellable. Maybe it's missing a SATA cable or a socket cover or whatever, something like that. And they put it back on the shelf and they sell it. Until the next sucker buys it, which in this case was me. That's sucker with an S, just for the YouTube algorithm. And the next person buys it. And if the RMA team cleared it for resale, but was wrong or incompetent or erroneous or whatever, and they send it to you as a new item or an open box new item that's functioning, and you get it, and actually it's not functioning because they were incompetent, and you send it back, now it's your fault. So that's how that works, if you're wondering. Doesn't matter if you did what I did and you never even opened the box. It doesn't matter if you do open the box and you're able to say, look, the pins were bent when you sent it to me, because you know what they're going to do when you do that? They're going to say you bent those pins because it was fine when it left our warehouse. We have photos. You want to see them? We'll send them to you. In hell. I never got the photos. I'm still waiting for the photos. A little bit angry about that. So this is how the box is held together. As you can we get let's get some close-ups.
Couldn't they just fudge the photo and even like down to the serial number?
Quality. Let me show you the packaging too. Excellent packaging. Excellent packaging. As you can see, they sent it in a much larger box than I originally sent it in, so it could rattle around fully. That's always good for things. Box is destroyed.
I don't really think that's that. They could have used some more cushioning, but I'd rather have it in a bigger box than having it in a smaller box with less cushioning. So when the UPS guy throws it around, there's more of a chance for damage. But, you know, that's just me.
It's been taped. Don't know if that was the customer who had it or Newegg's RMA team or whatever, but, you know, a damaged box is okay. Jesus, do they not know how boxes work? Who opened it from this side? Like,
oh my God.
Come on. Look. Who opened it from that side? Jesus. Okay.
Oh my God.
All right, there's a note on here. I'll look at that in a moment, I guess. It's a Gigabyte sticker. It says, Gigabyte Technology Co. Limited. Gigabyte RMA Department Repair Status List. Okay, it was actually sent to Gigabyte. What the hell does that say? It's handwritten. I don't know. Associate? Let me look up this word. Not associate. I know what that word means. I'd be like, wow, he's a lot dumber than I thought. I'll look it up before I say it. It might be a company or a person. I don't know. So quick video insert here. This is about a week later from the clip you were just watching. This board, we decided not to cover the RMA information because after some very simple digging, we found out that the RMA customer is Newegg. That's the really interesting part. Specifically, the customer is Magnal Associates. And looking up Magnal Associates did point towards pretty high confidence that it was Newegg. And then we just looked at basic corporate filings and found out it is in fact Newegg. So we talked to some companies in the industry, some representatives we know, and learned that all of the returned or defective items that they sell to Newegg, where Newegg says, hey, this thing you sold us, it's broken, when they send it back, that's being transacted between the company and Magnol Associates. So the very customer that sent this board back to Gigabyte for RMA is in fact the one that sold it to me. That's the best part of all of this. Newegg probably sold this to some other customer first, or maybe it was used in an ABS build or something, but either way, it eventually went back for repair, and Gigabyte checked off the box that says CPU socket damaged. So we did some more digging here, and the next step clearly was to call
absolutely
Gigabyte.
insane.
Not as us, but we called them with a cover story. And my cover story was, hey, I'm a liquidation business, and I just bought a pallet of defective Gigabyte motherboards from Newegg, and I was hoping that you, customer service representative, could help me figure out the RMA history of one of these boards so we can figure out if we're going to use it as an open box sale item or not. They were extremely helpful and gave us the information on the RMA. We gave them the ticket number that's on the motherboard. Remember, we didn't have to do anything weird to get this information. Newegg put it right there on the board. So when we could open it, we could see its RMA status. Talking to Gigabyte, we'll play a clip of it somewhere in here. We found out that the Gigabyte ticket history for this item, remember, we did all this on the same day, so nobody knew that we had this going on. Nobody knew they sold this board to us at this point. This was before that went live. So the customer service rep looked at the history and said,
it was returned to them, sir, due to CPU socket damage, sir. In order to proceed, they could repair the CPU socket, sir, but there is a $100 repair charge, sir. It was sent to us by Newegg, sir. Yes, sir. The Magnol Associates and Newegg and ABS.
Yes, we see that it came back in. Our technicians determined it was a CPU socket damage issue. The customer that sent it in was Newegg, and the reps for Gigabyte said that they offered Newegg the option of paying $100 to repair the motherboard or just getting it back unrepaired. And it gets sent back either way because it's their property, of course. Just like if you were the customer and they said, we can fix your board that you screwed up for $100, you say no, they'll still send it back to you. So they told us that Newegg said, no, we don't want to pay $100 to repair the board. It got sent back to Newegg, and then they put it on the shelf and sold it to me.
And then it's broken. They know it's the CPU socket, but like, yeah, we don't want you to fix it, but we're still going to sell it. And then we're still going to sell it knowing it's not fixed, sell it to somebody, and when they bring it back, and for it being broken, we're going to say, oh, they broke it, even though we knew it was broken and didn't want it fixed. How? This is the night of my jaw is hitting the fucking ground. Unbelievable. So they knew because they sent it to Gigabyte knowing it was broken. They told Gigabyte to not fix it. They resold it and then tried to spin it and blame it on him. That is a racket to the nth degree.
Stinks like shit.
Yes.
Cucumbers.
To me. So pretty good way to save $100. Let the customer deal with it by paying a gouged price, $500 for a multi-year old board that is damaged. Anyway, absolutely insane.
Oh, it's old. Okay.
And here's some more information. Gigabyte said that the ticket was opened in about July 2021. So the issue was known for a while. We bought it early December, I think, maybe second week December, something like that. And Newegg got it back sometime, it might have been in October or something based on the ticket here. So either way, this thing was known to be defective well before I bought it, at least 2 months, if not more. And they knew the defect because it's marked. So the best case scenario is that Newegg has some absolutely asinine way of handling products like this.
The old, at best, is that they have incompetent people working there who do not organize their products properly, and they put something that was supposedly fixed and wasn't fixed in the wrong pile.
And doesn't double check them before it puts them back on the shelf, and doesn't look at the giant obvious sticker on it. They probably got the box back from Gigabyte and just YOLO'd it onto the shelf without ever opening it. That is the best defense I can think of. And that defense shows extreme ignorance and incompetence, but at least it's not malicious. But that's the best one I can think of. The worst one is, no, we don't want to pay $100 for the repair. Let the customer deal with it. Anyway, enough of that rant for now. We're going to get back to the original discussion that happened before this insert piece did. Man, unbelievable. Okay, so their first claim was there's thermal paste attached to the motherboard. Let's, as you all know, normally the way it works is you take the thermal paste syringe and then you just kind of socket it right next to the RAM. It goes between the CPU and the RAM. A lot of people get that wrong. I see like dog hair on the thermal pad. We'll get to that in a minute. So, I mean, maybe this is the thermal paste they're talking about.
Yeah,
Let's
like
open
what
the
is that?
socket.
Really? That's what they were trying to pretend to deny it about if it was just that?
Oh my god.
Ha!
What the hell? Why'd you sell this to me? What's your fucking problem, Newegg?
Yeah, that's such. Gee, I wonder if that you don't need to be like IBM used to have to look for bent CPU pins, like a big microscope. Wow. You don't even have to have, like, my mom, who has no technical know-how, would know right away there's something wrong with that.
All right, there it is. So what this tells me is very simple. Clearly, you know, first of all, just to go on the record with this, in general, I don't think you should buy open box products, especially not open box motherboards. However, Newegg recently changed.
I'm like that too. Open box anything.
Changed their open box listings. It used to say in very large text, "open box" in all caps, colon, product name in the product listing. Now, at least for this one, when I bought it, in significantly smaller text underneath it, it says open box. I think the only reason I didn't notice that is because for like a decade it's been the other way, and so I expected that. So my mistake for buying open box. However, obviously it still needs to work, and I can understand buying open box. Sometimes in the past I had to do it when I simply didn't have enough money to afford $100 extra for a brand new one. I was willing to fix a broken one. So, well, it shouldn't be broken, but I was willing to accept one that had been fixed and gone through the RMA process. So all this obviously means is that whatever Newegg RMA technician took this and cleared it, I mean, I want to be honest with you, like, that person shouldn't be working there. Just to be completely frank, this is unacceptable.
Yeah. There's no just, like, even, I was in a rush. Well, that means you finish your job and do it right. That doesn't even take any technical know-how. There's something wrong with that CPU socket. Like, come on. You're just a clown.
So Newegg really screwed up because it's literally on the board. It says the CPU socket has damage. Then they shipped it to me. So to recap, if you buy an open box thing from Newegg,
and then have the audacity to tell him it was him, it's unbelievable.
What's going to happen is, if it's already damaged, you can record the entire process of receiving it and opening it. There's no reason they would choose a different course than they did with us, because in my situation, it was the...
Yeah, but now everyone's going to know to make it public, and you know what? Please do. If you buy something from Newegg, before you, like, get your camera out and just blur out the face of the delivery driver. Be like, yo, they deliver. Here's them. Just drop it. You don't have to. Just thank you for the package. This is them deliver. Here's me taking it in. And fine, they could deny you, but then you make it public and make them look like assholes, because now there's going to be traction to it.
There was absolutely zero chance we had damaged it because we never opened it. And so if you say, hey, I got my new product and I opened it and the pins are damaged, they're just going to be like, yeah, sorry to hear that. So the process is flawed. Either Newegg's technicians aren't checking it, or they're approving it for resale, knowing that it's damaged. You receive it, and then they reject your warranty, and they get money. That would be pretty malicious. I'm not sure if that's what they're doing.
It's probably somewhere in the middle.
Proven. So I'll leave that one there. It is, however, technically a possibility. Was Newegg smuggling GPUs across the border for mining operations? Yet to be proven. You want to know where they were hiding them when they smuggled them? They can only get one across the border at a time, like 3050, 6500 XT. There's a reason Paul doesn't work there anymore. Sorry, Paul. I don't know what else to do with this. I mean,
did he just say that Paul was shoving
it up,
GPUs up his
There's
ass?
Some thermal paste
Yes,
on
he
the
was.
Heat sink.
I know he's kidding.
Let's just finish this for sake of being complete. That screw's not even in. That was just loose. That's great. Great RMA process. So yeah, I don't understand why you would even have a service where you sell things as open box if you're not at least going to pretend you looked at it. That to me just screams scam. It seems like a scam. That's what we called the last video. It definitely feels like I got scammed. There's some animal hair or something or dust in there. So this was used. So the sticker says damaged by user cannot repair. That's the nail in the coffin for me, where damaged by user cannot repair. Damages CPU socket damage. Ergo, put in box, sell the customer for $500 as a functioning product. So we've gotten to the bottom of the issue at this point. I have nothing more to say here about this particular product.
They're clowns.
Even if Newegg hadn't been the customer here on this RMA ticket, I do still think that they should be removing these stickers, just because it's not like the end of the world or a huge deal, probably. But I don't like that there's a chance that a previous customer's full name is on there. It's not like their address or phone number's on there or anything, but it's just not necessary information for the new customer to have, so there's no reason to leave it on there. So I do think that should be removed. Now, as far as how all this works, we talked with a bunch of companies in the industry. Shockingly, this is crazy. We had companies, I can't name representatives from them, reach out and say, hey, we've had this happen to us. And then we emailed Newegg with our @majormanufacturer.com email address, and the problem was solved. So it seems Newegg has a history of just solving problems for people who might have any influence over their business and then fucking over everyone else. But the way it works is when Newegg collects defective or actually defective products from real customers, at the end of the quarter, typically, it will go back to the manufacturer that sold it those products. So these would be things like DOAs, maybe a power supply with missing cables or something. And either they'll get the product in queue to be fixed if it's as simple as, hey, XYZ power supply company will send you another cable and you can sell it new. Or it will be potentially scrapped. And in either case, what happens is Newegg is typically issued some kind of rebate on its next order or a refund for the defective inventory, which makes sense, because that's all we would want too. If we buy defective inventory, if I buy a broken motherboard, I simply want to send it back and get a refund for it. If Newegg buys
or a replacement, that's it.
a broken motherboard or power supply, it's taking them back to the manufacturer and getting a refund on it. That seems fair. The product was sold to them, didn't work. It's unsellable. And so, of course, they should get a refund, just like the customer should get a refund. But that's how it works. So the amount of emails we got following publishing the first video that say the same thing is really disturbing, because normally most of the comments we get on videos, they're in the comment section below. And you should leave your story below if you have one from Newegg or other retailers, or maybe Twitter. That's kind of it. Occasionally we get emails, and when there's more than a couple, that's when I know that it's a widespread problem. It takes an extra effort to do that than just leave a comment. It's like we had one from, I'll just say the first names here. We had one from a viewer named Mike, email titled Newegg Jankness. We had one from a viewer named Mark, who said Newegg scammed me. We have one from a user named James, who said he's desperate enough for a retailer that he has to buy from Staples. That's rough. Oof. And we got a couple others as well. So, yeah, I think we've seen enough here. I don't know. We'll probably do another video about this. Newegg has been calling me. They seem to be freaked out, and things are on fire over there. But check back in for those. Subscribe for more as always. Go to store.gamersaccess.net. if you would like to back order our drink coasters. These are awesome. They were out of stock for months. They sold out in about 36 hours the first time, but they're back on back order on store.gamersnexus.net, and they'll be back in very soon. So check those out. Thanks for watching. As always, we'll see you all next time.
All right, man. Shit. Well. Ain't that a motherfucker, huh? God, I hate the way this... Dude, hopefully I could figure out how to record the footage from the Wii U. All right, ladies and gentlemen, heading out now. Still, I know it's relatively early, but I want to try to figure out how to fix this with the Wii U and do some other things. Regular chat, super chat, thank you all for coming through. I appreciate all of you. Genuinely mean that. And it's been a hell of a ride tonight. And shout out again to Destiny FOMO, FOMO, Destiny first name. Check her out on YouTube. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with more content. Have a good one.